Lions and Broncos today. That's who reports. Lions and Broncos are in training camp today, and this is veteran guys that are now showing up to training camp. Good afternoon, Big Sales. Do me a favor, please. All of you, hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. We appreciate each and every single one of you coming aboard here, and thank you guys once again for being part of the program each and every single week. And by the way, on top of that, what we do love also is that we are now rolling towards the end of July, which means what? Eagles are showing up to training camp in about 7 days. All right. Before we get started into football here, last night I dug the All-Star game. I'm not going to be an old curmudgeon and go, that thing sucked, because it didn't. Major League Baseball has to have a renaissance in changing the sport. I mean, they've got to be proactive. They just can't keep going down the same lane that they go down every year and not change what their gimmick is. The average fan of a Major League Baseball game is 54 years of age. Did you know that? 54 years old is the average age of a fan of Major League Baseball. That's got to change. If you want to be and you want to try to compete at all. By the way, baseball, as you heard Kurt Schilling yesterday say, you heard him yesterday, that it's starting to get to a point where they're starting to see some trends going up. That's a good thing. Sills, in 1 year, I went from getting laid off from Heiser to a first-time homeowner. Congratulations to you, Kyle. So you're not Mr. Pfizer, right? You're not Mr. Pfizer like Travis Kelce. Okay. Hey, man, sorry about you getting laid off, but awesome in the fact that you ended up becoming a homeowner. That's really dope, man. I'm proud of you, Kyle. Way to go, dude. That's how you rise from the ashes. Never say and never let go of the rope. I dig that. All right. I liked it last night. 6-6. Kyle Schwarber is your All-Star Game ASG MVP because he hits 3 bombs in a row and the National League takes it home. I dug it. I dug the whole thing. I did. I liked it. I thought it was absolutely awesome last night. You got to have some change. And get this. You know what the old dudes will say? Well, what was that kind of gimmick? Well, the game is for the fucking fans. The game is a gimmick. Okay? Get this here. Okay. The All-Star game is cheesy. Supposed to be cheesy. I mean, yeah, Kyle Schwarber's a beast with his .216 batting average. 216, 46 homers, and 250 walks of shame. That's why the Phillies won't win the World Series this year. Even though our boy Kurt Schilling yesterday said that they had a great shot. I love the in-game stuff with mic'd up with Clayton Kershaw. I dug that. I thought it was pretty cool, man. Listening to Kershaw, how he thought the game. I thought that was great last night. That was so fabulous. Watching and listening to Clayton Kershaw. Thought it was great. You got a sense of really one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the sport. You know, kind of hear how he saw the game and how he thought the game out. This guy's got over 200 wins. He's got a .252 lifetime ERA over 18 years. He may not be a superstar pitcher when it comes to – by the way, I would take Kurt Schilling if I had to win a Game 7 over Clayton Kershaw. I would totally. All right. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. I got to say this right out of the gate here. This guy, CJ Gardner-Johnson, needs to shut his pie hole. He's a bad dude. Here, what was the quote? What was the quote that Gardner-Johnson on the podcast with my boy Ryan Clark and Channing Crowder? What was the quote? the Eagles traded me because they were afraid of competition. No, they traded you because you're an asshole. You're an asshole. Plain and simple. Nothing more than that. Gardner-Johnson, you're an asshole. They didn't want an asshole in the locker room. You're an asshole. And that's why they traded. Damn shame. You're a great player. But you're an asshole. They'd rather have a lesser player in their locker room than an asshole. Okay? Hey, M. Reyes. Brother, he's an asshole. All that stuff you're saying? Sure, okay. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. They were, get this. You see this, loser? So a guy talks shit for fucking 35 minutes and he apologizes at the end of it. And this guy will suck on that lollipop and go, he apologized. Hey, well, then why fucking say it? Whatever you see with LJ, whatever he does because he wants Big Sills to give him some recognition. You know why I give him some? Because he helps the algorithm. Other than that, his takes are brutal. He comes here every day and posts, we counted, 35 posts every day, and I thank him for that. They're all shitty and negative, but he'll do it for 3 hours. So keep posting away, guy. I haven't been stalked like this since this chick named Denise, when I was at the University of Miami, she knocked on my door at 3:30 in the morning. Dan, that's who this guy is. This guy is Denise and my college, who used to knock on my door wanting to get laid at 3:30 in the morning. Dan! No, I'm not home. That's how I feel about him. Dan! Dan! Can you see me? Dan! I'm over here. Don't worry, son. Everyone wants my attention. Hurts was able to get the 30th ranked defense to 11-6. Here we go with Jalen Hurts already. And a playoff berth to 2003. Burrow couldn't do it in 24. Yeah, you all say he's better. I'm not going down this lane. It's a joke. I'm not going to. The only people that make these asshole comments about Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow are people in Philly. Nobody thinks this. You can absolutely have this opinion. Nobody believes it. Only you do, Nate. Here, I'll give you it, for instance. Here's Colin Cowherd. Does a national show. And by the way, everybody is now, all of a sudden, looking at Hurts the same way I have for 4 years. I don't think he's a bad ball player. Yes, you're getting the Battle Royale today, 4:30. Xander's going to be with us at about 3:15. Where's that line? Where is that? Here you go. So Colin Cowherd. Here, wait a minute. Let me do this. Let me see if I can bring this up here. And let me see if I can do this here. And hey, listen, because my mic sucks, I don't really know if you're going to be able to hear this. But I want you to hear something. And again, this is off my phone. And here's how people, not me, I've been saying this shit for what, 4 years? And again, I'm not the only person that has made these comments. So this is how the national media sees Jalen Hurts.
Executives, coaches, and scouts. Many of them through the years have been very helpful to me in learning this game and sourcing this game. Release their top 10 quarterbacks. So this is the people that draft them, the people that coach them, the people that select them, the people that scout them, and it went in this order. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford,
put Jalen fifth.
Goff, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield. And I almost reached out to J-Mac, but I didn't want to get him all riled up. That's about as close
He's an
to
Eagle
my
fan,
list as you
J-Mac.
can get. Now, believe it or not, you're probably saying, well, what about Baker Mayfield? Well, after a second good year in Tampa, he's closer to 10 than 15. I'd probably go C.J. Stroud at 10 because his size and accuracy, but he didn't have a great year. A lot of that was his receivers all got hurt. His left tackle didn't play well. But none of this bothers me.
Here.
Now, the reaction on Jalen Hurts, who, wins the Super Bowl being 9, was predictable by his coach, Nick Sirianni, that said, this is a bunch of nonsense. I can't believe it. And that's what a coach should do. But here are 3 undeniable truths
that I brought up.
Take a deep breath. According to PFF, the Eagles' offense was top 10 in everything: pass blocking, run blocking, rushing, receiving. Yet they were 21st in actually passing. Jalen Hurts is responsible for that. Oh, by the way, 11 of his 32 total touchdowns came on rushes of 1 or fewer yards. Take out the tush-push, he had the same number of touchdowns as Bryce Young. And number 3, after a week 5 bye and a philosophical reset by the OC, they passed the ball less than any team in the NFL.
Who's been saying this?
So, if your company, goes to one of those off-site weekend retreats and has a philosophical reset, and they come back and they decide, listen, employee, we're going to use you less, and they're more successful, that seems to be a pretty striking correlation. So,
Hey, by the way, that's the Colin Cowherd show. Heard. Want to give credit. I've been saying that for 4 years. It's not a rip. That's exactly what it is. Yet when I say it, again, people are starting to catch up with it. Nobody's saying he's bad. It's not an insult to be the 10th best quarterback or the 9th best quarterback in pro football. It's not an insult. And again, I'm not going to debate it. There's no debate. There's no debate on his resume. There's no debate on his ability. There's no debate. It's not an insult. It's just not an insult. That is how executives see him. By the way, do people in the league have great respect for him? No doubt about it. Do I? Absolutely. For his journey? Absolutely. Not a rip. But that's what people say. They see him as a caboose. I've been saying since day one. Okay? Hey, and how about this? Do they win the Super Bowl without him? No. It's not a rip. Folks, you don't have to have the best quarterback in the NFL to win a Super Bowl. You can have a guy who's really good and win it. What's your fucking problem? He's not near the best. And if you want to put him first or second, have at it. As a fan, you should. Okay? Colin Cowherd claimed we wouldn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. That's Sills is more credible than him. Dude is a joke in his. Okay? Fine. You're the only one that has that opinion on Hurts. Really, the only people are in Philly. Nobody else. By the way, nobody has a poor opinion of him. He's just not one of those guys. Guys, this is not a debate. And it's not really a rip. His resume, he's winning. He's taking advantage of his environment. Phenomenal. What's the argument? What is the argument? Why are you trying to start an argument with me that doesn't exist? There's no argument. This guy Akbar tried coming on my social media page and telling me that stiff quarterbacks or Baker Mayfield couldn't lead that good Bucs team. Bro, I'm not going to go back over the comment yesterday because I'm proven right. You guys all on here yesterday said that Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy were not very good quarterbacks. And yet, not very good quarterbacks were involved in a team that made it all the way to the Super Bowl. You don't have to be a sensational quarterback to lead your football team or help be part of it to get to the game. You just don't. Okay? Seals, in week 2, I would attack the left side Oh, the Chiefs' O-line. I don't think the Chiefs' offensive line is all that hot. They got Trey Smith signed down to the richest contract, I think yesterday or the day before. They needed to. Okay? You knew you want to rip the guy. You did it 3 straight years. I'm not ripping the guy. The guy told you after he won the Super Bowl, he belongs in the top 5. You're fucking making shit up. Bro, you're making stuff up. The argument is trying to conflate Jalen's talent with other losers like Bryce Young and Justin Herbert. I'm not putting Jalen Hurts in the Bryce Young league. Reyes, I am not doing that. Okay, but his comment was, if you take the tush pushes away, is he still elite? He had as many touchdowns then as Bryce Young. Well, I hate to tell Colin this, but the tush push is part of the Eagle offense. I mean, you can't just take it away. And he's an integral part in it. So I don't look down on those tush push touchdowns. He might. I don't. TD's a TD to me. Okay, that don't mean I did. But his context of how Hurts' season went a year ago is spot on. I mean, spot on. They were number 1 in the top 10 in almost every offensive category except the quarterback. He's right on with that. But that doesn't mean he can't win a Super Bowl. And he did. What's the argument? I don't give a shit about Dak. Dak's not – here's something you got to remember about. Dak's not in the conversation when it comes to the top 10 quarterbacks. Jalen is. Are we still trying to compare Hurts to verified losers? I don't know what that means. Verified losers. Right. Okay. I'm not going down that lane today. There's no argument. There's just no argument on this. I'm not going to go in and I'm not going to spend trying to convince people that it's more about team. I'd rather have a talent. Let me ask you something here. Let's do this. Would you rather have a talented team or a talented quarter? Or would you rather have the talented roster or the top 5 quarterback in the game? What would you rather have? What would you rather have? Top 5 roster or top 5 quarterback? One's been proven. This is a proven stat. This is a proven take. I didn't ask you for both, douchebag. You don't have both. Would you rather have the roster or the top 5 quarterback? Roster. Roster wins. Quarterbacks don't. It's been proven in NFL history. It's been proven in NFL history. Nothing to do with stats. It's about roster. It's about having a good football team. Okay? Let me see what I'm essentially saying. And I'll tell you what I'm saying. You're essentially saying that we're essentially saying what we are saying. They will find any reason to belittle Jalen Hurts. I don't think it's belittling him. I'm not suggesting you are. Okay. But why throw the ball when I agree? What's the debate, Prince? Prince, what's the debate? I'm not debating it. Yes. I agree with you 100%. The Eagles are built as a team because the NFL is not built. Get this. Prince, would you agree on this? The NFL is not built to stop the Eagles. They're not built to stop them. I'm with you, Prince. I don't think they do either. I don't give a shit about the tush pushes. Well, if you took the tush pushes away, why? Would you take the tush pushes away? That's part of the Eagle offense. It's part of one of the signature plays in their huddle. I'm not taking that fucking away from them. Listen, you don't need a great quarterback to win. Also, this is a team sport and program installed to help the players to succeed, period, end of story. You demand so. I'm not debating any of you on this. I'm really not. Because this has been now 48 hours. This has been a whole week of this. Jalen Hurts disrespect. How's he disrespected? He can always just do this. How the fuck is that disrespect? So he's not the best quarterback. Hey, get this. How about you guys look at it like this? Okay, Jalen Hurts, in your eyes, may not be a top 10 quarterback. Let's just say that. And I think he is. Hurts may not be a top 5 quarterback. So we beat the pants off of the league last year without a guy who you don't have respect for and you don't like our style of play, and now you're even attacking the tush push. Sounds like a you problem. What's the debate? I mean, what's the debate? Correct, so they hate the style of play. Hey, get this. Prince. Yes, that's why they want to outlaw. Hey, Prince. Do you think the NFL wants to outlaw the tush push or the Eagles style of play? Because it counteracts salaries, position play, guaranteed money, offensive line. Do you know who they want to outlaw? The O-line. That's right, style of play. They want to outlaw your style of play. Okay? I mean, you are doing everything that's anti-NFL. That's a merit badge. You should fucking wear that like a merit badge. You know what the Eagles are? They're the Broad Street Bullies of today. The NHL hated that style of play back in the day. I hate when Colin used the word if. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Colin was the same one saying we couldn't get into the red zone against the Chief. I was one of the guys that said I thought they were going to have a really good day. And I'm talking about the Eagles. I never thought the Chiefs were going to win that ball game. People losing too much money on their bets. You mean their prop bets when they watch Philly. Okay? It's not style of play. It's inability to execute and design passing play because he's looking where to run rather than finding a wide open receiver. Sean, at the end of the day, though, what does that matter when you're going into the end zone, when you're running the ball? I don't know. You know, this has been a great week of content when it comes to Jalen Hurts because I think I've proven my point. You don't have to have a spectacular quarterback. And for the record, I'm not saying he's not to get to a Super Bowl. You know why they're facts? And those are facts? Because guys have done it. Guys have done it. This is not if, and, or what. Dudes have done it. Okay? And when you happen to be better than a stiff, you're going to have a better football team because you're on a really great roster. Saying Jalen Hurts is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL is not an insult. Those chips are going to move each and every single year, up and down. Hurts doesn't win a Super Bowl, I guarantee you he's out of the top 10. He has a great year, they don't win the Super Bowl, they'll move him up. Okay? You do. You need to win one? That's not true. You don't need to win one in NFL to get paid. You do not. Quarterbacks get rewarded every year. who are far less accomplished than Jalen, but they get paid on ability. People in this sport get paid on ability, not accomplishments. If that was the case, Hurts would be making $70 million a year. But for the record, that's really, nobody cares. He is in a great environment. This is exactly true. There you go. This right here is an absolutely spectacular truth. Numbers get you paid, postseason win builds and solidifies your legacy. 1,000%, a billion% correct. That is the take of this whole conversation. Jalen Hurts in that 6-3 postseason record with the 2 appearances and the win, it's solidifying his place in today's NFL. Plain and simple. But you know what people are debating? How he got there. But isn't that the case his whole life? They debate how he got there. Fired at Alabama, transferred, drafted in the 2nd round. Hell, the Eagles didn't even think he was a first-round pick or a first-round starting talent. They thought he was a backup to Wentz. Isn't it the goal for every team to have a good environment and a great team? Being a GM is an easy job. Senor, how about this? Would you not agree? That's why Howie Roseman kicked C.J. Gardner-Johnson off that football team. Because he was an asshole. Not because he wasn't good, but because he wanted a good environment. Do you agree? He's a really good player. You don't have a safety on your football team. By the way, where's this? Hey, real quick, let me add this to the mix. You think Reed Blankenship gets that contract by the start of training camp? We're 6 days, 7 days out, right? So you think Howie gives him that contract next week? 12, 13 million bucks. I don't. I do not think that. I will be pleasantly shocked if Reed Blankenship has a $12, $13 million deal on the table by next week. Why wouldn't they have done it sooner? What are they waiting for? There's no particular time coming up here. You know, there's nothing about rosters or anything. Why haven't they given Reed the contract? Sills, how many first rounders have made an impact in the league? Analysts often become infatuated with the players' physical ability and throwing mechanics, but those players rarely succeed to win. You're dead on. Prince, that's why quarterbacks are the toughest to evaluate. This is why we respect you, Seals. You have logic and you see with your eyes. I think the problem is that other hosts made bad takes, but nobody is my guy, Big Seals. Thank you very much, bro. That's great. Guys, I appreciate these supers. Please hit the like button. Big Seals, do you think trading Gardner-Johnson was a good move? If that guy was that much of an asshole in the locker room, I do think that. Yeah, no, and I completely disagree with this. I didn't think he really had a very good... Hey, Senor, do you think he had a really good first half? I didn't. I thought he picked his game up in the second half. I think he's a good player. I think he's an asshole. They got rid of Gardner-Johnson because he's an asshole. As a matter of fact, he's not the only second rounder. Almost every single second rounder in the league has not signed. Okay? So that's not just a Philly deal. That's across the league. That second rounders have not signed. They want their money guaranteed. Well, that is going to be quite a putt. Especially when you got loser programs like Cincinnati. So, okay, we will miss Slay and we will miss CJ. Especially early. Later, I don't know. they may get better. They may get. Guys, thank you for all these supers, man. Means a lot to us, right, Xander? Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. By the way, we have Battle Royale at 4:30. If you are a great quarterback, you are going to sell tickets and fill seats in the stadium. Even on a shit team, and a great quarterback will always bring a profit to a team. You know what, Mike? I appreciate that take, Mike, and thank you for the super, but let me put it to you this way. The National Football League is not based on season tickets and how teams are paid. They're paid on TV. Now, if you want to go TV ratings, will this guy be? There's no doubt. By the way, I said something yesterday to Xander. He's right. Xander is great when it comes to marketing. And my forte is sports talk radio. And I'm telling you what sells. And I've been doing this for a long time too. And I will say this, the exposure that Jalen is getting, hanging out with MJ, taking that great picture with all the Jordan brand guys, fucking huge. Jalen Hurts' brand grew more this offseason than his reputation in the media when it came to him being a quarterback. His reputation with the fans grew, which is the most important. Why? Eyeballs on the TV. You can't have a better game for Jalen Hurts than having the Dallas Cowboys roll into Lincoln Financial Week 1. You can't. You got the biggest brand in the world in Philly, September 4th. You got a guy wearing the biggest brand in the world and the Jordan brand. You got the defending champion. He goes out there and throws for 365 yards and 3 touchdowns and runs for 2 and has a 5-touchdown game. That guy's going to fucking explode. And then you're going to start looking at him going, boy, I'll tell you what, man, I know Mahomes is the face of the league, but let's see what he does. There is no doubt that is a great opening game for him. It's a great opening game, especially for his brand. Here, now this is interesting. I love his style of play and his attitude, but he needs to know when to chill. Are you talking about, I think Jalen is a chill dude. You might be talking about somebody else. My apologies if so. Sills, CJ is the definition of the juice not being worth the squeeze. Most teams don't hold players' personality to a level that would cost them a job. Success allowed Howie to make the CJ move. Absolutely. You know what people are saying down in Tampa? They should have drafted Jahad Campbell. Why? The Bucs need good linebacker play right now. The Eagles have the autonomy to sit and wait with the kid because they believe they have a good roster. Here's the one thing that I will tell you. Absolutely not. Super Bowl MVP is not the face of the league. It is not. You're weighing too much into that. I'm telling you that is important for sure. Was Nick Foles the face of the league? Was Joe Flacco the face of the league? Joe Flacco won an MVP. I don't ever remember hearing anybody talking about that fucker being the face of the league. And he was on the Ravens. That guy was not the face of the league. Peyton Manning was not the face of the league. Well, maybe a little bit he was before Brady. Maybe a little. Okay? Who's that? Who's SGA? Never heard of him. Oh, he's the MVP? Never heard of him. I've heard of Caitlin Clark. Never heard of SGA. Oh, you mean the guy at OKC? Didn't they give him a boatload of money? Too bad I don't know who he is. By the way, see this guy here, face of the NBA? There's your problem if he's saying is true, that he's the face of the league. Remind me never to watch a game that he's in because I don't care. That guy doesn't bring me to the television set to make me want to watch a basketball game. No, thank you. I'd rather watch 54 game Embiid. Peyton Manning is one of the most overrated players of all time. How about underachieving in Indianapolis? You mean to tell me that Jalen Hurts has many Super Bowls as Peyton Manning had in Indy? I don't know. Who's more accomplished? I think Jalen is. If you look at Jalen Hurts' time, get this. Here's a great example about being overrated. Peyton Manning, in my opinion, I think always has been a little overhyped. How about this? I don't know about overrated. How about overhyped? I think he's overhyped. All those numbers, the guy's 14-13 in the playoffs. Make it sound like the guy was spectacular in the playoffs. I mean, I remember him losing a ton of games in the playoffs. Here's to my point. I'm with you. I can't name 10 NBA players, not name Steph Curry or LeBron James or Kevin Durant. I couldn't tell you 10 players. How about this? I couldn't tell you 10 players I cared about. I think Peyton Manning's overhyped. Hey, I'll tell you one thing about your boy. When you think of the word Jalen Hurts is not disrespected. What's the word I'm looking for? He's underappreciated. Is that better? He's not disrespected. Players, look, as much as you think I talk shit on him, I don't disrespect him. I do not. I see him like a lot of other people see him. You don't have to be a top 5 quarterback to win a Super Bowl in this league. There's nothing wrong saying Troy Aikman was never a top 5 guy. You would never put him in a conversation of the top 5 quarterbacks in the history of the sport. You might not even put him in the top 15. He's got 3 rings, though. I mean, you would never put him in that conversation. I call him the caboose. Troy Aikman was a caboose. He had Emmett, he had Troy, and he had Emmett, he had Irvin, and he had the defense. He was efficient in third down. How many people in here believe that Troy Aikman was the centerpiece of the Dallas Cowboy run that won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years? How many people believe that? Face of the League is on every other TV commercial. How many people believe that Troy Aikman, by the way, Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith were first ballots too. How many people believe that Troy Aikman was the reason they won all those Super Bowls? Just curious. Was it Emmett? Was it Irvin? Or was it, pick one of those two. It was clearly Emmett. Clearly Emmett. Offensive line? Not true. Defensive line? Not one Hall of Famer. Cowboys don't have any Hall of Famers on that defense except for Dion. As a matter of fact, Larry Allen is the only offensive Hall of Famer in the O-line. You make it sound like the Cowboys had a ton of Hall of Famers. They had 3. The quarterback, the receiver, the running back, Larry Allen. The rest of them were not Hall of Famers. 4 out of 11 starters. On defense, Haley, you're right. Haley, Haley and Dion 1 year. The rest of them, the other 9 guys, they were not Hall of Fame players. Okay? They were not. Well, we're talking Dynasty. Shit, Brady never played with a Hall of Famer. Except for Gronk on offense. He didn't play with a Hall of Famer that won Super Bowls in New England. None. Gronkowski's the only guy who will be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So Hurts' value as a quarterback is cheapened or devalued because of his passing numbers, are lacking. I think it's style of play. I think it's got a lot to do with style of play. Style here. Colin Cowherd's right in how they won a year ago. You guys are the ones trying to change the narrative. They took the ball out of his hands, and like I said, you think it was because that's what they evolved to. No, they took the ball out of his hands because it was the smart thing to do. And they ran to the Super Bowl and won it. And he played great in the game. That's what happened. On the way somehow from February 9th to today, people have come up with this fucking psychotic narrative. Well, they didn't feel like throwing it. That's so dumb. They didn't feel like throwing it because they weren't accomplishing shit with it. In the first 4 weeks, they were still turning the ball over at the same rate they did at the end of 23. So what did they do? They did the smart thing and they ran it. Not evolved to it. They went to it. The fucking players came out of the break saying we're going to run the ball more. Mulata and Lane both said that. It wasn't something to do with evolving. They went to that because they had to go to that because they took the ball out of the quarterback's hands. But Jalen was cool with it. All those moves, he part of it too. Hey, by the way, to sit there and somehow say that Jalen was a part of the offense is absurd. Even though they evolved the passing game down and they downticked the volume of passes to 24 a game, that doesn't mean he wasn't involved in how great the running game was. Dude, Joe Burrow cannot be part of that. Get this. Here's something you guys have to understand. The ability of the Eagles to adjust after the bye, no team in the league really has that ability to do that. The quarterback said, okay, we're not going to throw it as much. We're going to run it more. And he's involved in the running. Fucking great. Isn't that a quarterback's responsibility? Is to get wins. Here I am defending him now. His responsibility is to get wins. Any means necessary. If that means less passes and less passing yards, me being involved in it, so be it. That is a credit to the kid. Not a rip. You're not taking the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands. You're not. You're just not. Guys, this is not a debate because there's no debate. This whole week, just listening to people, the thing that kind of, the interesting thing about the Colin Cowherd take was, well, the tush push, half the tush push play. I'm like, yeah, well, that's part of their offense. So wait, so you don't like the tush push? Well, that's part of what makes them great and dominant. You can't just dismiss it. I won't dismiss that. Okay? You can. And Reyes, I'm not the only one that sees him that way. Scouts and coaches see him and executives see him that way. So what? Top 10 guy who wins the way he does? What's your fucking problem? And for the record, who gives a shit? He's not the best quarterback in the league. So what? He's getting the best result. What do you care? Dude. Okay, so we're gonna get to a couple others, which is pretty interesting on how people see some players around the league. Offense couldn't be stopped after. That's right, because they ran the ball. Okay? Not taking the ball out of Burrow's hands is why the Bengals won't win. Correct. Because the Bengals aren't building the team correctly around him. Absolutely true. They need a dominant running back. If you're not going to have, get this. This is what you guys refuse. And this is why Eagle fans are flawed in their thinking. You refuse to give Burrow the same benefit you give Hurts by having a great team. You refuse to do that. And instead of you calling it making excuses, dealing with facts. If you're not going to build the football team correctly around Joe Burrow, he needs a running back so that he can work the clock. Burrow can drive down the field with 2 minutes in the game, have a minute left, and they'll still lose because their defense is 30th. Absolutely correct. A victim of poor management. Would we not say this about the Eagles? Would this be a fair comment? When the Eagles lose games, they lose games because it's more self-inflicted. A bad call, turnovers, they throw too many turnovers, something like that. I've never seen a team just beat the shit out of you. Drop ball, right. The drop ball in the Atlanta game, right? Like that. You never see anybody beat the shit out of you. I mean, no team, penalties, interception, that's all self-inflicted. That's how the Eagles get beat. They beat themselves. Okay? See this guy right here? That is not a Jalen Hurts record. That's the Eagles record. This guy refuses to do the same for him because Hurts has a great team and Burrow doesn't. He goes, Jalen shouldn't be penalized because he has a great team. But Joe Burrow should be penalized because he has the ability and he's good, but the excuse of a shitty team doesn't count for him. How do you do that? How do you go, don't use that against Hurts, but don't use that as an excuse for Burrow? It's the same shit. I mean, Jalen throws high volume. He's not good. Bro, I'm not debating this. Because then we get down to the lane where I sound like I'm killing the kid, and I don't really care. Bengals defense has some players. The offense has players. It's not a terrible team. It's a badly run front office. Dude, their defense was fucking 28th. Allen has who? I don't know. The Bills are not a bad team. Their O-line, as Xander said, they're in the top 10. That O-line isn't bad. Okay? See here. Hurts needs to step up, period. No, he doesn't. Here, let me get to this new topic here. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for your super chats. Mean a lot. Let me go to this one. How much it is? I'll tell you this. Like I told you before, I'm not rooting for you guys to lose. Why? So I can cover a shitty Jets team? There's a ton of shit. Don't ever let anybody tell you downtime. No such thing around this bitch. Who do you think has more upside as a quarterback, Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts? Who has more upside, Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts has been now starting 4 years. pretty much the same kind of numbers every year. 3,300 yards, 20 TDs, pretty much the same guy. That's what he's averaging, 3,200 yards, 20 TDs, pretty much the same dude for 4 years starting. They've been different styles and approaches, but pretty much the same. I don't think it's a question. I think it's Jaden Daniels, 1,000%, that he has more upside than Hurts. But why? Why do you think Jalen Hurts doesn't have has more upside than Jaden Daniels? Why do you think? Not an opinion, it's what he's done. He hangs around the same numbers every single year. High has been 38, low has been 29. He hangs around in between there. It's so interesting that the Eagles are a Super Bowl team, and yet they have only 4 players in the top 4 100 list. That doesn't mean anything. You had 1 first-team Pro Bowler on defense. Okay? This is irrelevant. Who has more upside? Jaden Daniels better not have a sophomore year slump. Why would he? Got the same coaching staff back. He's got a better football team around him. Minus what some think. I mean, there was I was listening to Mike Gill talking about that stupid commander poll. Jordan Mailata is better than Laramie Tunsil, but Laramie Tunsil is still ranked the 6th best offensive tackle in pro football. Okay? He's still in the top 6 to 5 offensive tackles in pro football. It's a lame-ass argument. When they say that Tunsil's not a top 5 guy, they want to hear themselves. Nobody thinks Laramie Tunsil's not a top 5 guard, offensive tackle. It's a stupid take. Okay? Now, Debo's on the back 9. But I think Debo's in the right spot. He's the number 2. Here's why Daniels has more upside. He's going to be asked to do more because his team's not good enough yet. And then he'll get to a point where they're going to have to keep putting players around him because they're going to keep finding his deficiencies out. Why do you think Houston added, what's his name, Joe Mixon, for play action and for running the ball? Jaden Daniels is going to make more mistakes this year, but he's also going to have less guardrails. Jalen plays in a guardrail offense. He's got guardrails. Why? Because you're going to run the ball. That's not the number one thing they're going to do in Washington. That's the Jaden Daniels show. It's not the Jalen Hurts show in Philly. Nor should it be. That's not their formula. Washington is by far not as good as Philly when it comes to roster strength. By far. And this is probably true too. A solid hit away from being a potential journeyman. Dude, you take the guy's wheels away, no doubt about it. This is why my point about dual threat guys, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to put himself in jeopardy. You know what makes him smarter? Do you know what makes him smarter than Baker Mayfield? And that has to improve. Do you know why he's smarter than Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield is jumping out in front of Bucky Irvin, trying to block downfield. That's so dumb. Tom Brady says it all the time. Quarterbacks have to learn how to slide. Quarterbacks have to learn how to protect themselves. Quarterbacks have to learn how to play another play. Okay? Take Joe Burrow's arm away. He's a nobody. What kind of sense is that? take Josh Allen's legs away. He's half the player. Totally half the player. Okay? Totally half the player. By the way, folks, I'm not going to debate rosters anymore. And for the record, Hurts has had a great football team. Kudos. But what the Philly fans have, their biggest problem is they hold it against Herbert, his playoff performance. Guys, how old is Justin Herbert? Let me see. Justin Herbert. Let's see how old he is. Guy's been to 2 playoff games. So he's 27 years old. And he's been to 2 playoff games. In one of the worst organizations in all of pro football. And do 5 picks. Like 5 picks means he sucks. It doesn't. Well, he doesn't play in big games. Can you tell me the last time the Chargers were ever in a big game? With Phillip Rivers or with Dan Fouts or any of them guys? That's an organizational mistake. You will not do this. You do not give the same litmus test for your guy to other guys. You're trying to prop your guy up by saying, look how much he wins. Well, look how much the team is built. And by the way, I think Nick Sirianni validates the criticism because he addresses it. It's bullshit. It's not true. Nick, blow it off. Don't even address it. He should have said next question. Instead, he went into a long diatribe like he always does, a word salad. Dude, if you want to put something down, you don't answer the fucking question. You don't go into a word salad and try to explain why you're quarterback and why it's a bullshit comment. You look at the guy and you go, next. You look at it like, that's bullshit, and just move on. Instead, after the bullshit, he goes into his word salad and he validates it. He validates the criticism by responding to it. I mean, here, if I'm the head coach of the Eagles, I would have said, that's bullshit. Next question. Instead of going into that, well, you know, he does it. And whatever, bro, you don't have to debate his resume. This has been one of the best 48 hours I've ever seen. The shit that I've been saying for 4 years, people are now finding it. And by the way, there is no debate. Get this. Okay, he should. He doesn't stick up for anybody else. He should stick up for him. It's my guy. I'm not ripping him for that. I'm ripping him for addressing the fucking narrative. Whatever. Bill Belichick would have said on to Cincinnati, Tom Brady, should you bench him for Jimmy Garoppolo? We're on to Cincinnati. Tom's not really playing the way we're on to Cincinnati. Guys, they want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. You're damn right he's not. I mean, by the way, hey, Jaden Daniels, there's no doubt he's going to be asked to do more because there's less talent. Run game's not that hot. O-line's still in construction. The receiving core, they've got to figure it out with Terry McLaurin. They got to figure out how to use Debo. They've got their coordinators back. Get this. Here's what you hear in Philly. Washington's going to take a step back. Even though they didn't lose anybody and they added players, and they think experienced players is a bad thing. Detroit loses all their coordinators. And I'm the one saying Detroit's going to take a step back. Washington may take a step back when it comes to the one-loss column, but they'll be better because they got the same crew back. They do. I mean, hey, and at the end of the day here, okay, at the end of the day, do you look at Philadelphia and go, well, Philly's not in them? Of course they are. Of course, Jaden. Get this. Troy Aikman never had upside. Why? Because of Emmett. As long as Saquon Barkley is on that team, Jalen Hurts will be limited in his role. You're not going to all of a sudden morph into doing something fucking different after you just saw this formula for winning a Super Bowl. Why would you do that? Common sense. Why would you not utilize all the players on your team? We got to get the ball to AJ more. Really? I think AJ's just got to be healthier. How about this one? If AJ was healthier this year, do you think AJ Brown would have had, what do you have this year, 1,100 yards? You think he'd had another 1,500-yard year? I do. Hurts would be around 3,400, 35, 3,600. That's who he is in this offense. It's not a bad thing. I don't know what the debate is. Well, he's 9 versus, how do you put him against Herbert? Who fucking cares? You can't debate his resume. So the only thing people do is debate ability. Because that's what you're paid on. Do you understand that? I don't believe you do. Okay? Where I disagree with you is that the Eagle defense lost 4 guys, retained all coaches. I'm good. I highly value coaching, as I do too, especially in the NFL. No doubt about it. It's not that I think that you don't have good coaches, Sean. I think you have too many moving parts. Hey, Sean, the biggest kudo will be this. And I'll say it again to you. If that defense ends up in the top 5, which I do not believe, I mean, I think they're going to be hanging around between 12 and 15. And if they hang out somewhere in there and they start playing like a top 5 defense the last month of the season, like Kansas City did a couple of years ago. Remember the year Kansas City beat you guys in the Super Bowl? They looked like a 9-win team because their defense was so young. Then they started playing like a 14-win team by the time the playoffs rolled. The records can be misleading, especially late in the year. Some teams just catch fire, and they're playing better football. Okay? How in the world, get this. I thought the Eagles had a Super Bowl team and now has a top 15 defense. Yeah, because you lost 5 starters on defense from your Super Bowl roster. Yes, I believe that. I didn't say 15. I said between 12 and 15. And once again, folks, Senorita doesn't get it. The difference between 6 and 11 are 2 yards. 2 yards. You could have a 2-yard difference and go from 3rd to 11th in total defense. Do you know that? That's how close it is. So you make it sound like, well, if they're top 5, it could be. But the margins are so slim. Here, I'll make the point again to you. Here, 2024 defensive rankings. Let me show you the difference between 5th and 12th. Okay. defensive stats, the Eagles were number one. Okay? They were number one in the NFL. Go back here. This is a better sheet. I had this. Somebody here it is. Here you go. The Eagles were number one, giving up 278 yards a game. Here's the difference between 5th and 12th. 5th, 314 yards. 12th, 325 yards. 11 yards is the difference between 5th and 11th. Relax. Relax. Hey, here. The difference between 5th and 10th is 9 yards a game. Relax. No debate, the defense got worse. I didn't say that. They got less experience. Could you name 12 defenses that are better? I do not believe we fell that far from the list. I don't know how good how in the world could you make that proclamation when you got 4 guys who've never started a down in the NFL? Your offense. Is that hard? Get this. Senor doesn't want to look at how the Eagles even thought this offseason. They thought the defense was an expense. So they got rid of multiple starters. And they kept the offense intact. In their opinion, they're a Super Bowl contender because they got rid of 4 guys that started and kept their offense. I'm just going by what the Eagles did. I don't know what he's thinking. That's what they did. They let go of 4 starting players, 5 from the Super Bowl, and they kept their offense intact. Isn't that what they did? Isn't that what they believe? I'm going by their actions. They were the number 1 ranked defense that lost 5 starting players from the Super Bowl, 4 regular with Dean. And they got rid of them because they could live without it. But they didn't get rid of anybody but Becton. I'm not sure what you're talking about, son. Right? Twins, that's what they did. They believed it was in their best interest to get rid of 4 starters. Does it sound like a complete team? Well, we shall see if it is. You had a complete team on February 9th. Now you don't. Now you have a question mark team. Again, I don't know what the debate is when you lose 4 guys that started for you a year ago in the number 1 ranked defense. And you sit there and you tell me, you go, we have good players that can replace them. Okay, we'll see. I'm not debating you on it. I'm not debating it. If the Eagles finish the season playing top 15 ball on defense with an uptick in offense rolling into the postseason, it's a problem for the league. Yes. 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 And that very well may be. 23, you rolled the other way. 24, you rolled the right way. Hey, riding the bench, is that fair? 23, you rolled one way the wrong way. 24, you rolled the right way. As your defense kept getting better and better and better and better. Right? That's what happened. That's right. Media dorks like Sills keep calling the Eagles a super team. I never called the Eagles a super team, but ranked them 10th in defense and what on offense? Bottom 5? Offense, I'm not even addressing this. This is stupid. Question, mark team going into last season. Question, mark team going into last season. Not sure what that means. Please give me a translator. Not sure where you are, son. The defense at 23, I could throw up from. They couldn't tackle shit. The 22 team wasn't actually that great as well. Okay? They were not that hot either. Okay? Dude, the fact you use 4 void years on a $1.92 million Uche contract is desperate. That's one thing I would not use on the Eagles is the word desperate. Desperate belongs in Dallas. You're desperate. Dog, desperate. You want me to put desperate to sleep in the Eagles not being a desperate team? They draft a guy that's fucking injured, and they're going to wait on him because they believe they have the talent in the building. Okay? According to Sills, we are a question mark team. That's a fucking absolutely pathetic take. I said you have 5 question marks on defense, dickbag. Eagles offense underperformed last year. Defense overperformed. This year's offense has to pull closer to their potential. Funny, man. I brought up that the Eagle offense didn't play up to its potential a year ago. People threw a fucking baby cow and shit in their diapers when I brought that up. And I bring the same thing up. If they live up to their expectations and their talent, they're not going to take a shit in their diapers. And they still won the Super Bowl playing C-plus offensive football. Offensive passing attack was terrible. The run game was excellent. You had a C passing attack and a A-plus run game. Can you imagine if you pulled that up to B? How unstoppable you would be? If the rookies like Campbell, Makuba, and Robinson buy in, I'm going to say this, Kyle, if they're good, they don't have to buy in. You're going to buy into being a defending champion. It's not about buying in. Okay? Maybe you're saying buying in like if they listen and if they're coachable. If that's what you mean, then I get that. Okay? I mean, right? Yeah, hey, Sean, I told people that the offense didn't. I asked the question. Everyone get this. You want to know how sensitive Eagle fans are? Did the Eagle offense live up to its expectations a year ago? You know what they'll say? Yeah. Well, then shit, there's no room for improvement, right? Well, no. Yeah. Then they start waffling backwards off the ledge and they go, wait, well, and you go like, bro, I think there's a ton of room for improvement. And you were still champs. Any word like that, they shit their diapers. Correct. Yes. That's how dominant you were in the run game. Yes. See, again, here's a guy shitting his diapers. Here's a guy shitting his diaper. Yeah, you won a Super Bowl. Yes. You played C-plus football on offense, still won a Super Bowl. Yeah. More room for improvement. Let's shit your diaper, son. It's okay. Okay, I mean, look. Get this. When you do this, is there room for improvement? No, they didn't fucking underachieve. Well, then there's no upside. You're not going to get better this year. And you're going to be the same. Is that right? You're going to run the ball and you're not going to improve on your offense when it comes to your defense maybe having to pull up a little bit. Holy cow, you talk about diaper shitting this week. I fucking never heard more crying. It's fucking amazing. Who gives a shit where he's ranked? Fucking classic. Big Sales JB. Yeah, that's a gift from my boy Xander. Absolutely. Hey, M. Reyes literally dominated over 80% of our opponents. No shit, dickbag. But M. Reyes doesn't think there's room for improvement in the offense. So that's who we are. So then Hurts is not going to get better in the passing game, according to M. Reyes. All right. I'll take that. Won a Super Bowl with a quarterback and the offense not living up to total ability. All right. All good. Thanks, M. Reyes, for the content. Holy cow. Woo! How you doing? By the way, Battle Royale. Hey, by the way, just for shits and giggles here, I didn't see Dak's name in that top 10. Where is Prescott's name? I think, get this, Prescott makes $60 million. Wait a minute. Ask yourself this if you're a Cowboy dude. They named the 10 best quarterbacks in the game. You paid the guy $60 million, and he's not in the top 10? Oh, holy cow. Talk about not getting your money in return. That'd be like Xander pulling up the hood in his vet and going, is that a fucking Yugo engine? Holy shit, it's a Volkswagen engine. That's not a fucking vet engine. That's not a V12. What is that? Wait a minute. That's a fucking bug. Tanner's got a bug engine in the car. Oh, holy cow. All right. This has been a great... God, please, can I get another shitty list in the next 2 days? Please, Jesus, I need another list just to carry me for 6 more freaking days to get me to the start of training camp. And Heavenly Father, I so pray to the Lord of Content. You know the Lord of Content, where Sills was spawned from. Thank you, God Almighty, that the Lord of Content will bring me another fucked up list like we just saw 48 hours ago. In Content Heavenly Name, we so pray. Thank you, Big Cells. I promise we will do this. Thank you, Father. All right. I just need another shitty list from Jeremy Fowler, and then we'll be able to go there from there. All right. Let me take a swig here. You know what's coming up now, man. Oh, boy. We got some, by the way, look at this. Look what I wrote down here. I got some fucking questions for Big Z here. All right. I do. Battle Royale at 4:30. Thank you very much. By the way, I love this. This is what separates Big Cells. They're always fucking great shows, but thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Without further ado, hey, don't ever change the content or don't ever change the format of the fucking All-Star game and talk to Big John about it. I actually liked that fucking thing last night because baseball did something different. There was a small home run derby at the end. It was for the fans. I bet you they get high ratings for it. Schwarber ended up winning the MVP award. Here's John McMullen. This fucking sucks. It was really off the rails. I need, you're changing. I'm like, hey, John, baseball's got a 54-year-old fan base, bro. They got to start bringing some youngsters to the game here. So I don't know. I liked it. And I thought it was great. I liked the Kershaw shit, too, last night. I thought that was dope. All right. Without further ado, by the way, I can't wait to get John's content when he goes over to NovaCare Center. Be on the lookout for that next week. That's going to be enormous. Without further ado, my guy from Birds 365, Big Z, Xander Krause.
What up, Big Sills?
How you doing, bro?
Are you ready to go back to the school of Big Z today?
What school would that be? What school would that be? The school of terrible takes?
Are you still butthurt about yesterday?
What butthurt?
I got one thing I got to say at the start of the segment today. I'd like to make a formal apology.
No.
I'd like to make a formal public apology to the one and the only, the great Aunt Betty. All right. I was a little hot yesterday at you talking about our quarterback with shitty Brock Purdy. And I had to use Aunt Betty.
Hey,
and I would like to apologize to her for
Betty. I'm going to hear shit for this now. Hey, thank you, Big Z. Hang on.
No, I knew in the moment that it probably wasn't the greatest thing to do, but I was looking for your clone. You're looking for something, and I had it, and I pad you against the wall, and I used
How could you do that when I have facts?
Facts.
Yeah, I asked you flat out if Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo were good. You went below average. And I said to you, a below average guy then helped the team get to the Super Bowl. And you automatically went, you're taking a fucking shot at Hurts now. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
That's because you were, man. That's because you were. I love how you're still sticking to the story of, my topic to my Eagles audience had nothing to do with the Eagles quarterback. I mean, you sound like the dude in the chat who's more Sileo-ized than anybody. This guy's so Sileo-ized he can't tell his ass from his toes. I mean, come on, Sean.
That's not true. The point is, you don't have to be elite to help a team get to a Super Bowl. That's the point. That's the only point. You don't have to be. Here, Xander, would you rather have a roster or a top 5 quarterback in the league? A top 5 roster or a top 5 quarterback? What would you rather have?
Top 5 roster.
Right. And you can get, by the way, I am not implying in any way he's an average kid. He's not. Not saying that. I'm saying you don't have to have Joe Burrow to get to the Super Bowl.
And here it is. When you get the rare combination of both,
he's not.
That is when you talk about golden eras. That is when you talk about dynasties. That is when you talk about 2 Super Bowls in 3 years with a chance to go back to another one.
That is so not true.
Dude, you yourself have him like number 7.
I love how the national guys.
You yourself have him number 7.
I love how the national guys are totally now catching up with Big Sills. And the only people that think like you are in Philly. Listen, again, they were number in the top 5 in every offensive category: blocking, pass protection, run blocking, everything. And the quarterback was 21st in passing. Secondly, that's on him. Secondly, it wasn't just something involved. They took the ball out of his hands. And like I agree with Colin, when a company comes to an employee and says, we're going to do something different to win, they went and they did it. And they ran themselves to the Super Bowl. Wait a minute. Your narrative is that that's not what they did. Well, that's exactly what they did.
Football's a team game. That's not, you can't comp the workforce, the average 9 to 5 workforce.
The roster is the workforce. That is the workforce, is your roster.
But it's a team game. So,
you guys in Philly refuse to do this. No doubt about it. You're dead on. All the things that you guys talk about Hurts having a great team, is totally true. Shitting on him for having a great O-line, shitting on him for having a great wide receiver group, all that. There's no doubt. But then when you turn around and you look at the other guys, hey, there's no excuse for this fucking guy. There's no excuse for this guy. There's no excuse for that guy. Well, there is. They're not on good teams. They're just not on good football teams.
And there's no excuse for Hurts, but he doesn't need one because he keeps
Nobody's giving him one. Dude, that list is so awesome for me because it really is irrelevant.
That was one of Colin Coward's worst takes.
Of course it is. For people in Philly, it is. But for people with common sense, they go, wait a minute. And by the way, does it matter? No. Jalen Hurts.
HDS.
Get this.
HDS.
Hey, once again, guys. And once again, 99, the league and everybody agree with Big Sills. You guys really have an absolute different opinion of him. And I don't have a bad opinion of him. I really don't. Congratulations to you. I really do not. I do have a question, though. of the top 4 teams that you're going to play in the first 4 weeks of the season, who do you think is going to give the Philadelphia Eagles, in your opinion, the tougher game? Do you believe it'll be Cowboys, Kansas City, the Rams, or the Bucks?
It's a good question. It's possible it's the Bucks. It's also possible it's the Rams. It could be any of them. Let's be real. I mean, the Eagles play the Cowboys normally always pretty close. You know, an opening. I think there's one thing here that actually plays in the Cowboys' favor in that opening game, and it's that they get us early, right? Like whenever you're a shitty team, you always want to play. You never want to play the shitty teams early in the season. That's when everybody has confidence. That's when everybody, there's not a lot of film out there. So I think the advantage for the Cowboys in that game is simply that they get to see us the first game of the season, right? With all of the hype and the hoopla around that game. Now, I don't think they're going to play us the closest of the first 4. You can go to the Chiefs. You could say they got blood on their mind because they got destroyed on the world stage. Really,
and it's at home,
right? And it's in Arrowhead. So potentially that could be a pretty good one. The Rams, I don't know. I know that they played as close in the playoffs. I know they have a pretty nasty defensive line, but I think the Bucs would be a tougher game than that Rams team in those first 4 weeks.
Add something else to it. Add something else to that Bucs game. What is it? It's September in Florida.
Yep, September in Florida. It's a weather game. It's the opposite side of the weather game. Yeah. Now the other thing, we do have some Southern dudes on our team. Hurts is from Houston. Devontae Smith's a Louisiana guy. I mean, a lot of those guys are used to playing in the heat, but that Florida heat in September is a different beast for anybody that's never been there.
Down there, man. You know what it's like down there. It's
I can't. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
All right.
So I think probably the Bucs. Then I'd probably go Rams because that D line is really good, and then I'd probably go Chiefs and then Cowboys.
I can't believe how tough this start is because, like you said, you got a division game right out of the gate, and it's the Cowboys who are going to want to know where they are in the room. I think the Cowboys would be better in the second game than in this first game because they got to find out who they are, and I don't even think they know who they are. The Chiefs. They just signed Trey Smith yesterday to that contract extension, so they at least keep him in the room. They lose Tooney to Chicago.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big loss to them.
And he wasn't fantastic last year. Now he moved around a little bit last year. I think he had an injury too, but we'll see.
He was out of position. Yeah, he was out of position in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. We'll see what ends up happening.
Right. They had Pooney. And that defensive line, they added that kid, that run stopper, because of you guys,
The Rams, you're talking.
The Rams. They added that kid.
Ford.
Yeah, they added. I actually like him a lot.
I like him too. He's a good run stopper.
Yeah,
he's a good football player. He's a one-trick guy, but he's good at it.
Yep. He's not a very good pass rusher. Okay. What's the toughest game of the year on your schedule?
Ooh, toughest game of the year is a good question. Probably make an argument for the Lions based on the rosters.
Week 11.
Week 11, right? So it's kind of in the crux point of the season. I would say the Bills, but the Bills are at the end of the year and week 17, I think. And I think the Bills are going to have won the AFC East by that point. So hey, maybe they're fighting for the first seed in the AFC. Maybe it's a bloodbath, maybe, but I think there's a small chance that game is not as valuable for Buffalo as we're thinking right now. You could probably make an argument one of those Commanders games could be for the NFC East, and one of those late Commanders games could be one of the best games on the schedule. And then probably the Bucs or the Rams. I don't love the middle games. I think from week – look, let me pull up the schedule just so I know exactly what it is. But from week 5, you have the Broncos, the Giants, the Vikings, the Giants, and then you have the bye week. Then you have the Packers. I think those games none of those games are doing it for me. The Packers is not the toughest game on the schedule. I'm sorry. I'm not buying the Jordan Love hype yet. Chargers is interesting. I think that's maybe a Monday night game, I think, in LA.
It's a Monday night game. That's right. Monday night game in Los Angeles at SoFi.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the Lions. I'd probably go with the Lions now that I'm looking at the schedule. Lions or Commanders, I think, is the most realistic, toughest game on the schedule, in my opinion. And then probably the Bucs would be at 3, just because of the way the Bucs have played us.
Here's why I think 16, 17, and 18 are going to be important football games this year. Because I think home field advantage is going to be in play. I don't think that the Eagles are going to be able to take a week off, because I think there's going to be teams in other divisions. Like NFC West. Bro, I know people, and I know you don't believe this, but I do. I think the 49ers are going to have a huge bounce back year because they're playing shitty teams. Yeah. They're not playing a great schedule, dude. They're playing the third worst schedule.
I don't know. Here's my problem with them. What do you think of them now post Deebo Samuel? I'm not the biggest Deebo guy in the world, but I mean, your wide receiver 1 is Brandon Ayuk. Like, dude, I like Brandon Ayuk, but I don't even think he's better than Devontae Smith. I don't even think he's close to Devontae Smith. You know,
but I think George Kittle's great.
George Kittle's great. Is he kind of getting older now? He's a guy that's kind of dealt with some injuries as well.
He just signed the rich contract.
McCaffrey, in my eyes, McCaffrey is a huge wild card this year. Could he be great? Absolutely. We all know how great of a talent he is. Could he stink? I think it's possible. The guy had like every bone below his hips last year was no good.
I like that Pearsall kid.
Yeah, Pearsall's okay. They got Jawan Jennings. I see you talking about him. Easy I like him, but I don't know. Jawan Jennings would be what, wide receiver 3 or 4 on our team?
Three.
So, yeah, I'm not quite ready to go there yet, but I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a bad team.
All right, how about this?
Clary Boyd's right too. Remember, Ayuk tore his ACL.
Yeah,
he missed almost the whole year last. He missed the whole year last year. He got hurt in training camp. And remember, after the big contract.
And that's a great takedown there from Great Tech guy. They did lose Afanga and Greenlaw.
Yep.
So those are 2 good football players on defense too that they're going to have to replace.
I actually think Great Tech is one of our resident 49er fans. I think
Okay.
I think that all these usernames confuse me now, because I think that's Hogan, but his name is now Great Tech or whatever it is. So
I have no idea what StreamYard's doing it because I can't even get
my mic. It's not StreamYard, it's YouTube actually.
Oh, that's YouTube now? Jesus
yeah, they
Christ.
keep switching back and forth. There's only a couple people that have the same username as they did screen name. So still I can see you, so.
Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We'll read your supers here in a minute. Don't forget Battle Royale at 4:30. Do the Eagles sweep the NFC East?
Yeah. Nah, you got 6 NFC East games. I think they're going to lose one of them. I do think they're going to go 5-1. Either a loss to the Cowboys in one there or a loss to the Commanders, I think is realistic. I think you beat the Giants both times. I don't think they're ready to compete. I think you sweep one or the other of the Commanders and the Cowboys. People will probably say we're going to sweep the Cowboys, and I get it, but just going off of history, we don't sweep them that much. So, you're going to have some losses. Like, I don't think we're going to go 16-1. So I'm factoring in a few losses. I just think we're going to be a better team, especially when it comes to the playoffs. So I think 5-1 in the NFC East, I'd be super happy with. And even if we were 4-2, I could live with that.
Do you think that you will, again, now in what you just answered, but I'm gonna piggyback off that. Do you think you split with the Commanders?
I'm going to go unconventional here and say, because of what I've said all season, and I'm going to stick to my guns on it, I'm going to say that we split with Dallas and we sweep the Commanders.
Sweep the Commanders.
Well, because remember, I've been saying all offseason, I think Dallas. I'm going to be consistent with that. I think Dallas has a sneaky chance to get closer to the Commanders. I thought the Commanders won 12 games last year. They had a lot of close games. They had the game where they won at the buzzer. I think they had the most wins in the NFL last year in 1-score games, and they had the ball bounced away a lot. Yeah, so I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really sold that they're a 12-win team yet. Now, did they win 12 last year? Yes, but I got to see a little more there, man. I mean, seriously, when's the last time the Commanders have been good? 2005? I don't know. I got to see it a little longer on them. I'm having a hard time buying into them like the rest of the NFL is.
All right. Who do you think is going to be the most improved team in the NFC East? The Giants or the Cowboys? That Giants got a pretty stiff. They got a pretty tough D-line, bro.
Yeah, they have probably the best D-line in the NFC East.
They may have the best D-line in the NFC.
They might have Do they have the best D-line in football?
Now again, let's put an asterisk here.
I think the Bills have a pretty good D-line.
Okay.
The Giants have I think Giants might have the best D-line in football. They got Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. They just drafted Abdul Carter. Who's the other dude on the interior that I'm missing? Not Dexter. The other guy that plays next to Dexter is pretty good too.
Brian Burns.
Well, no, I said him, but they got
Burns. They have Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. Now they've added Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
is there another guy in there?
No, well, Dexter. I mean, Dexter's obviously really nasty, so I could see that. I could see them having maybe the best D-line in football. So you could argue. And by the way, I was out on this player before the draft. I don't hate Jackson Dart.
No, you turned me on. I looked him up more, and I
watched a little bit of his game, and I thought Lane Kiffin used him really well. And if you put him in the right environment, and I kind of think Dable is cut a little bit from that Kiffin cloth. Not exactly the same, but he's got that good offensive mind to kind of use that quarterback. So I'm not going to say, I don't know if the Giants are going to suck. I'll go Cowboys, though, because they won 7 games last year. Can they win 10? I think they can win 10 or 11.
Is this fair, Xander? Do you think the reason that the Giants got Jackson Dart is because it kind of reminds Brian Dable a little bit of the skill set of Josh Allen? He can run the ball. He has a big arm. He's a big kid. They kind of see the same kind of guy, skill set wise. Not saying he's going to be anything near that kid. I'm talking like you kind of look at him and you go, coach this.
Well, you're right. Where you're right is this: he's got a big arm, and he can make plays outside the pocket. Now, I don't think he's going to have the running ability that Allen does down the field. I mean, Allen. Let's be real. Allen's a little bit of a freak of nature. You don't really see 6'5" guys run and take on. And run, he's a freight train. That's a great word for it. I mean, he takes on contact. People bounce off him. I don't think you're going to see that with Jackson Dart. But I do think playmaking outside the pocket with a big arm probably gives them a little bit more creativity. But I will say this. You heard who Jackson Dart models his game after.
Oh, well, please, God, no.
The greatness of Jalen Hurts. Come on, Sileo.
God, please. Oh my God! All right, did he really say that?
Yeah.
Who's the best team in the AFC in your opinion? Or who has the best roster heading into September?
I think it's Ravens by a decent margin. I mean, honestly, I think the Bills improved. They added Joey Bosa. They've done a couple of other things. I'd have to go back and read exactly what they've all done, but I think the Bills have a solid roster. I still don't love their skill position guys. I think the Ravens have the most complete roster in the AFC by far. The Chiefs still do have the great equalizer in Patrick Mahomes. Now, I know you're projecting a regression. Johnny Mac sees a regression. I think we all feel a little bit of a regression coming with the Chiefs, but they get the great equalizer in Patrick Mahomes. So let's see what happens with that team. I'm not quite ready to count them out just yet. Bengals, nowhere close. Good offense. Not a good offensive line, though. Who else sticks out on that AFC side?
I think the Chargers do.
Chargers aren't bad. The Broncos aren't bad. I think
Broncos do with their defense.
I'm not the biggest Peyton guy, and I'm not the biggest Bo Nix guy, but I'm a fan of the combo, if that makes sense. Like individually, I don't love Peyton that much, and I don't love Bo that much, but I think they're a pretty good match, actually. And then you look at the talent they've added on the defensive side of the ball in Denver. I think they're decent. Texans aren't bad, Leon. They have a great secondary, a good defense overall. DeMeco Ryans has done great things, and CJ Stroud obviously has tons of weapons. Now, my question on the Texans is, what's the offensive line? The offensive line struggled mightily last year, and they get rid of Laramie Tunsil. Now, did they replace him? I don't know. So that's my question with the Texans is the offensive line. But there's some good sleepers over there. There's some good sleepers over there in the AFC.
Okay, let me ask you this. When will you know if your defense is headed in the right direction? By week what? What will you know? What did Vic say a year ago? He knew by the midway point of the season.
Midway, yeah.
pretty good, okay? When will you know? Same time? Same
Yeah,
thing?
I mean,
Or will you know early because I don't know if there's any more question marks than there were a year ago because let's do this. Last year, was there question marks on Milton Williams starting? Yes. I don't care what anybody says. Were there questions at the line? Dude, the biggest question mark, if you go back and look at your notes, Andrew, the biggest question mark was what? The linebacker. The linebacker play of last year. No, it was the linebacker play heading into the season.
You don't want me to pull out the book of
please listen.
The,
what was
the book of Revelations? Do you?
Did you write down what your biggest concern was going into the?
Well, no, I think you're right. I mean, remember the linebacker room, as you pointed out, was widely regarded as the worst in the NFL. The defensive line had questions post Fletcher Cox,
and post meltdown from 23.
Yeah, I feel like we felt better about our safeties. We had Reed and CJ coming in last year. Corners, we felt still questions. I mean, last year, I mean, I think
we didn't know what Q was.
We had no clue. Had no clue what Cooper was. And remember, the year before that, we had the travesty that was the slot cornerback position with Avonte Maddox and every other name that came through there that year where they couldn't stop a nosebleed. So Cooper DeJean really changed that. But no, I think the questions are about the same.
What, in your opinion, will you see Cooper DeJean playing the most reps at and snaps? Corner, safety, or nickel?
I think.
Remember,
nickel.
I think he's going to be put into the position of the weakest link. And I think Vic is going to use him like the Swiss Army knife. Xander, if he thinks that safety position, I think if she listen here, Elizabeth, relax.
No. Aunt Betty is shielded from all and any strays. Okay, for the remainder of 2025.
I'm gonna hear this.
I went out of bounds, and I will no longer go out of bounds.
Hey, listen, my God Almighty, man, my aunts. You want to hear an Aunt Betty story? I got you're going to laugh your ass off. You ready for this? Okay. So, you got to remember something.
Yeah, make sure you say this right, all right? I just said no strays on Aunt Betty.
Okay, no, wait a minute here. So check this out. So, my coach, Mickey Leone, and Gary Cobb knows him. This guy was a rough-ass guy, man. One of the legendary coaches in New England. Just a legendary coach. Bobby Valentine, all those guys he recruited and coached and this and that. This guy grabs me outside the locker room like this. Listen here, boy. You're a man in a boy's you're a boy in a man's body. Putting me around, grabbing me. My aunt's at the top of the Catholic High next to the convent where the nuns are, and she's in yellow high heel shoes. She's sprinting down this thing like she's Carl Lewis. Did you ever in a million years ever put your fucking hands? Did you ever I'm going like, and I can hear my coach in my ear going, holy Jesus Christ. She came and my God, my head smoking hot, running down the hill like this, and high heels just running. Blonde hair going everywhere. You ever touch him again, you will think Jesus himself came. I was all kinds of crazy, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy cow, man. My entire life, bro. All right. Couple last ones here before I get you out of here. And
it's good to have people like that in your corner, my friend.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Push me against the brick wall. Sorry, I forgot that one. The coach loved me, too. The coach loved me. All right. Anyway, so here, Xander, finally here. You believe 350 and more carries for your boy Barkley this year. Because I'm going to make him
350 or more?
Or more.
What do you have last year?
467 counting the playoffs.
That's counting playoffs and catches, though, right?
At 345, I believe. I
think he's coming in 310. 300 to 320. I do think he breaks 300 in the regular season. I'm not counting playoffs right now. I'm counting just regular season. The playoffs are not guaranteed, my friend.
Oh my God, this is going to be a fun year with Jalen Purdy. I can't wait.
Oh my God. That's it. He's out of here. I might free Aunt Betty from my hate, but I will kick Sileo off the show for now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You did not just say that.
I can't wait. Holy cow, man.
You gotta be kidding me, man. You have literally got to be kidding me.
What did you make of all this talk the last 48 hours?
It's hilarious. Jalen Hurts broke the NFL.
He broke the NFL.
He broke Big Sills and he broke the NFL.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He broke you.
How'd he break me when everything they said about him is true? It's true.
Big Sills. Aunt Betty, I need you to get the wooden.
Hey, by the way,
back together.
What's funny? You know what Big Sills has to deal with? Is the arrogant ego Eagle guy, because he has the trophy and he could say anything he wants until September 4th. And so they think they win every
when we beat the
win every single argument, they think, because they won the Super Bowl. Don't worry. Mail is due. And also rent is due September 4th. We're going to find out about who going to be right, who going to be wrong. And if the caboose returns or if the train returns and the engine returns, we will, hey, get this. Let's say this, 2021, Hurts was what? Hurts was the engine. 2022, he was the engine. 23, he was the engine. 24, he was the caboose. How you doing?
No, he wasn't.
Yes, sir, baby.
That's just simply not true.
It's not, huh?
That's not true.
Colin's right. Your boss. How about when your boss goes to you and goes, "Hey, guess what, Dan? I think I'm going to have to take an hour."
Notice how Sileo picks whoever says an opinion similar to his on any given week. Some days it's Johnny Mack he uses. Some days it's Colin Coward. He never uses the people who say all the other things that are for Jalen Hurts. He only uses the guys who agree with him.
Oh, and by the way, I think Nick Sirianni validated a lot of the criticism.
How so?
When somebody says something shitty about somebody, all you do is this. Hey, it's bullshit. Next question. You don't give me a word salad fucking 70 answer. What do you do? Here's how you end the conversation. Fuck that. I don't care what they're saying. Next. Even you know that. He got no,
I mean, listen, I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, I think there are instances where certain things require a little bit more of an explanation depending on the setting that you're in. I mean, I come up on this show every day. I could answer every single one of your questions with bullshit, next question, but I don't. Does that mean I'm wrong? No, because I'm right 98.4% of the time I've been on this show. So, my track record speaks for itself.
He will be so disappointed this year.
I tell you what, Sales, you better hope I have a bad season of predictions, because my first year on the air was an iconic season of prediction. It was iconic.
I don't hope you have a bad year. What kind of fun would that be, covering a 4-win team?
We should be right for once. Oh my goodness. I forget the last time you were right. It was years ago.
You know what, folks? What this guy forgets once? I've been doing this 40 years.
You don't have to be right to do it for 40 years. Okay. It's
well,
like someone said yesterday. Wait a second. Are you on the air 40 years because you've been right, or because you're an entertaining heel? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Is it because you're right?
Into my shitty mic, I will not answer that. I will take the fifth. I will not. I will be a Joe Biden lawyer. Sorry, Betty. I'll be a Joe Biden lawyer and not answer. I'll plead the fifth.
Wait. Look at Chris. Chris, thank you. He says a caboose doesn't account for 35 touchdowns.
Colin Coward Well, all those were, hey, how about them trying to take the tush push away? I'm like, how could you take the tush push away? It's part of their fucking offensive game plan. I'm not taking that away from the guy. It was a stupid comment.
I could see you like secretly siding with the Packers on a
No way on that. No way.
Yeah,
That's
look,
smart.
I would understand at this point, you got to do anything to try and get something right, man.
Bro,
I mean, if you wanted to ban the push, I wouldn't be mad at you.
I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is look at what he did a year ago.
Ooh, I just
You're right.
Look,
you just got what?
Nothing. I'm my marketing brain is going.
I hope it's a good thing.
No, it's actually not. It was something pretty stupid, to be honest with you. Not even worth saying.
All right, do me a favor. Let's do the super chats here, guys. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like button.
I want to thank Riot615 for becoming a member today. Thank you, man. Riot, I appreciate that, brother.
You're gonna have a fun time. You're gonna have a fun time.
He's been here a while. That's a member. That's a paid member, Sills. For you, because Sills, for those who watch JAKIB religiously, I am on with two people who are very technically challenged, who don't understand the medium that they're on, and they don't even know what that means. He thinks that means you're a subscriber. No, that actually means he's a paid member. He willingly is paying us a monthly thing to be a part of our thing, to use the emojis in the chat, and to get the member benefits that come with being here. It's really support for the channel. So thank you, Riot. I appreciate it. And for all the people, we had a lot of members last year. We've lost a couple in the offseason, but we still have a strong base. And I'm going to have tons of giveaways this year, Sills. You remember how much stuff we gave away last year.
Oh, my God. You were legendary.
Man. We're giving away a ton of stuff to the members on the channel this year. So get your memberships back in. Training camps around the corner, and we're going to have a ton of stuff to give away this season. So a big thanks to you, Riot, for becoming a member. Let's see what Big Silves is doing back there.
All right, this is what hey, you know what I should do? I got about 3,000 of these.
You got wheels on that chair?
Hell yeah, man. Hold on here. I should sign these and give them away.
That's sick. How many of those you got?
Got about 1,000 of them.
Wait, so you want to hear some? I had this dude reach out to me once last year. I never followed through with it, but he said he could print me any Miami Hurricane jersey I wanted. I'm thinking about getting 20 Sileo jerseys printed.
Look at this. Actually, what you should do is do the Buck jerseys, because you know why? It's the 50th. Hold on. Wait. It's that throwback, though.
Yeah, it's cool, but you think Eagles fans want a Buck jersey?
I'm a Buck. What do you want me to do?
Well, you're also a Hurricane.
I am a Hurricane.
Yeah, so I think the Eagles fans would appreciate that more than a Buck jersey.
Yeah, I think so too, because Jerome was an Eagle. Jerome was a Cane. Yeah, all right.
I mean, good.
I started signing some of these for people, and I started giving. That's me against the Lions on Monday night. That's a Monday night football game.
I love it.
I can't believe we were even on Monday night. Bucks sucked back then. We were terrible. Thank you, Riot. I appreciate you, Junior.
Dio gifting 5 memberships out. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Dio, you're the man, brother. You know, I appreciate you, brother. Yo, look at Prince.
Prince, I will keep paying.
Prince says I keep paying even in jail, Zan.
yeah, that's right, man. He's a January.
I gave Prince a little pep talk this year, Sills. I said, hey, this season we got to do one thing, Prince. We got to stay home this year, all right? No month breaks from JAKIB. So he understood what I was saying. Let's get to some supers here. Peter Riley says, Big Sills, heart, Jerome Brown, number 99. I love it.
Jalen Xander gave me that.
Brown jersey. Yeah, there it is.
There it is right there.
I hate that you can't see it on our segment, but we can see that ugly-ass Cowboys helmet.
You told me to fucking move the thing away from the jersey, so I did.
Put it on the outside of the Tropic Thunder. I've been telling you that, or whatever that Tropic thing is.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God, that's fucking hilarious.
Ryan checks in. Yo, thanks for becoming a member. Here he is with another super chat. He says, yo, Big Z, is it true that you trained under Cowboy Bob Orton? If so, how would you compare wrestling to football in terms of physicality? Well, no, I think that's for Big Sills, not for Big Z.
How about this, man? Hardest thing I ever did was train for professional wrestling. But I think it had a lot to do with me because I went to 10 training camps, 10 NFL training camps, and it finished me off. And Cowboy Bob Orton did train me. He signed me. I was a WCW guy, and it was some of the hardest training I've ever done. I wrestled in Japan for New Japan for Antonio Inoki, and I wrestled in Europe for Otto Wantz at CWA, and I wrestled at WCW in Atlanta. So I was in the Tokyo Dome, dude, in front of 65,000 fans.
That's pretty
sitting
sick.
there going like this in front of 65,000 fans going, Big Sales, how you doing?
Oh, God. It looks like it's hard. It does look like it's hard on the body, no doubt.
Oh, it is. It is.
Mr. CTE. Is that what your name is? Mr. MRCTE, right? Mr. CTE. That's pretty funny. He says,
is that Mark Holmes?
That's a Mark Holmes picture. Obviously, this is not Mark Holmes. But that is a Mark Holmes picture. He says, my 7-month-old son, Braxton, predicts 3950 for Hurts, 25 pass touchdowns, 25 rushing, 1750 for Saquon, and back-to-back NFC East titles for the Birds. Braxton, you're hired. Let's get Braxton in the workforce early. All right, he could talk Eagles on this channel.
Oh, hey, of course. That's how Eagle fans see the season.
Peter Wright, look at this. Tango Xander is a champion. You know it, Peter. Woo!
Hey,
thank you, Peter.
Of course you see that.
Mr. CT again says, QB rankings are for fans of teams who don't win shit. I don't care if Jalen is ranked 32nd. We got a ring. That's all that matters. Wait, Mr.
Woo!
CT.
That's right. Who cares he's a caboose,
Listen
Mr.
to this.
CT?
He's got a loaded up bank account, a ring on his finger.
Look
all right. And he's hanging out with Jordan in Greece.
There
I think he's all right.
Look at that. Who cares he's a caboose, Mr. CTE? You're dead on. I completely agree with you. What's the point? Who cares?
All right, here's Kyle. You know, what's a show nowadays without a Kyle?
How you doing? There's my boy.
Kyle, what's up, my brother? He says, let's not forget why Dable picked Dark. Guess who else coached Jalen Hurts when he was at Bama? Yes, sir. Dable was his first offensive coordinator. Boom. Before Lane Kiffin, and then it was Steve Sarkisian. Yes, sir. Actually, it was Lane first, and then it was Dable, and then it was Kiffin. I forget. Or no. It might have been Kiffin, Dable, Sarkisian. And then he went to Oklahoma.
Dable was at Alabama?
Yeah. Yep. Offensive coordinator.
What'd you make of the Gardner-Johnson comments?
Honestly, I kind of liked him. I'm not going to lie to you. Well, look, here's what I like. This is what I like.
You guys are afraid of a competitor.
Well, listen, I listened to a lot of the interview, and I'm a fan of complex people. Like, I don't think every person needs to fall in line or be a certain way. And I think Gardner-Johnson is obviously comes with his faults, as we all do. All right. I'm not going to sit up here and preach to a choir that I'm some perfect dude or every. I mean, look, the guy's a little bit of a loose cannon. That's part of what makes him a good football player. I thought he explained himself. I thought he had a chance to speak his mind a little bit. I liked the forum. I thought Ryan Clark gave him some really good questions, and I thought he explained himself well. Look, does it mean I love him? Does it mean I think every comment he makes is right? No, it doesn't. But I understand him, I think, more than people know. I mean, I do. I understand him. He's a complex dude. He is a competitor. He is not cut from the cloth that most are cut from, and I can respect that. I was always the dude in grade school who was like the outsider. I was always the dude in high school, who wasn't like everybody else. I was the guy in the principal's office. So I can understand it. You can't let it be a detriment. And I think that he showed that he understands that. But I thought they were good comments.
How about this, though? All of that is true about a player. You don't want to coach that shit out of somebody. But how about the fact that the Eagles just thought he was an asshole, and that's why they moved on from him?
Well, he was. But here's the other reality of it. The Eagles they have assembled a really good roster, and they do a lot of things great in that front office. But they also like a certain type of player, Sills. They are not huge fans of the big, bold players. Like I said earlier, get in line. Like that's kind of their mentality. And whatever, it's worked. They're entitled to run their organization however they want to run their organization. But Gardner-Johnson doesn't fall in that, and the Eagles didn't use him. I think he's at the perfect spot now with D'Amico Ryans. But I got love for him. He won a ring here in Philly. He was a big part of us winning a ring, and I'm not going to kick the dude, on his way out the door. I got respect for him. I appreciate what he did for Philly, and I'm not really mad that they moved on from him, honestly. But I think he did. I think he did explain himself kind of well. I liked it.
I forgot to ask you this question, and this is, hey, I want you to listen to it. Okay, don't fucking overreact. Listen to it.
Oh gosh.
You think Zach Bond's going to become a great linebacker in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay. You understand the question? The question is, because you had a great year, does it make you a great linebacker?
Agreed. I agree 100%.
Do you think he's going to be in the same room in conversation? By the way, he's ranked third heading into this year, right behind Smith and Fred Warner. Okay. Do you think he's going to be that guy, those guys?
I think that's a big ask, but I think he does have the inherent talent with the right coordinator and the right scheme to put him in the best positions to succeed. So yes, I do.
We've seen. Do you agree? Joshua Uche was a one-year wonder. So was Bryce Huff.
Yeah. To some extent, yes.
Okay, we've seen that happen, right? And I'm,
yeah, but,
by the way,
the difference
I
between
don't believe it either. I don't.
The difference in the comps, though, is that Bond played a much more versatile role last year. He was not a one-trick pony at any part of the season. So I think he's got a different skill set, and he meets the needs for athletically to play the position at a high level. I think he's only going to get better actually now because it was his first year, So I think he's got a better understanding of the position now, and he's got Vic obviously in his corner, and I think he's going to be good. I do. I honestly feel that, because I understand the question, but I feel like he's going to be good.
How do you know it's not Bradbury?
Well, Bradbury was older. Bradbury was a great player in his prime. He was good in New York. He was good in Philly. He was an all-pro here in Philly. I mean, I think he's another guy that I don't agree with most fans. I don't have a sour taste in my mouth about Bradbury.
I didn't think he was bad. I didn't. I thought he was okay.
There's actually nothing in me that makes me dislike Bradbury. Nothing. I mean, was it unfortunate that the play we lost the Super Bowl on was on a holding call on Bradbury? Absolutely it was. Do I think it was a shitty call? I do. Do I criticize the player for it? Obviously, you don't want it to happen that way, but it's kind of football. I don't think he egregiously held him. I thought it was a ticky-tack call. It didn't go his way, and the ultimate result was that we lost. But I respect how he handled it. I respect what he did for the team last year. Kind of didn't make a mess, didn't make a noise, kind of just accepted it and moved on. But
this is a dumb comment. You're not better than Fred Warner. He had one great
he said
year.
Fred Warner is still better than Bond. He's agreeing.
Oh, okay. I thought there was somebody up here. He had a really.
I got to get a couple more supers. I got some things. I got some things to accomplish. My beautiful girl is waiting for me.
Hit it.
2024 49ers had a significant rest disadvantage in their schedule with a negative rest differential of minus 22 days. 2025 is +9 and an easy schedule.
This is way over my head.
Shit. Yo, Hogan, I love you. That is the shittiest take I have maybe ever read on the sports
way
show.
over my head. I fucking have no idea what he's talking about.
Lamar checks in. For both, what's your favorite Cowboys-Eagles moment? I'll say the game-sealing interception in 2014 to seal the NFC East at the Cowboys Stadium. That's a pretty good one.
I think you guys throwing snowballs at Michael Irvin and batteries at Michael Irvin.
That's an old school one. I'd have to think about that.
Or the body bag game.
What's the one where we beat the piss out of them? And more recently, I think we had 44 points or something in that game. I'd have to look. Lamar, I'll get back to you on that.
Lamar's body bag game for me was
Fried Couch Boys cry on the road to therapy. All right.
Boy, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, that one. That's what I was talking about, Leon. That's the one I was talking about.
Here, look at this right here. What happened the last time the Eagles played Dak? Who won?
Oh, my God.
God. Hey, dude. Look at what you can't – Texas guy, you can't fucking come in here to teams that have just won the Super Bowl and go, hey, when's the last time the Eagles played Dak? Who won? They don't give a shit about that. They're talking about victory parades. You're talking about a one-off game that no one gives a shit about. There's your smile. You got me defending him now. Get the fuck out of here with that.
My last comment on the day is once again, a heartfelt apology to the great Aunt Betty. My sincerest apologies He is now been given the ultimate JAKIB shield, which earns you the right to never get shit talked, regardless of what comments are put in the chat.
Wow.
Sorry, Aunt Betty, I apologize.
Hey, wow, Aunt Betty, you're giving you Xander doesn't give that out very the shield.
But I do have to say this. I will not, if you are a dickhead, I will still have to call you one on the show.
Bet I have to agree because I'll call him a dickhead too. So this ain't like Johnny Mack who go get pissed
Stills
off.
is praying I have a worse season because last year I was no.
I'm not praying. You're out of your tree, dude. You're out of your tree. I'm not praying. Hey, you better go do the lawn work and you better go rake your brother, your future father-in-law's front yard. Hey, you better go do that, bro.
Hey, you know what I'm doing? I'm dropping the top in the Corvette and going and banging some gears, baby. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic, man.
Everybody go subscribe.
Hey,
ZK's Garage. That's my auto channel. Check it out.
Hey, and by the way, my first car was a Vet.
I know. I remember the picture. I think
you
you had a
C4. Bro, take the T's off. You're ready to roll.
Target's out. Yes, sir.
Rolling. Hey, did you have the T's off when you rolled up to New York to see your boy?
My brother?
Your brother?
Yeah, he got one too. He got a black one. So the Kraus brothers are rolling and dueling Corvettes. All right.
How about this, guys?
That's pretty badass, isn't it, Sills?
Yeah, it is. Before these guys before this guy gets married.
You better watch what you say right now, all right? I got company. I got company around here, Sileo.
Hey, congratulations to you, Xander, and I will see you on tomorrow's edition of Birds 365. Tomorrow we're 6 days, right?
We're 6 days from them reporting, and then we're 7 days from them being on the field. So we're getting that. We're getting after it, man.
You got it. All right, Big Z. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you, man. Look at Jay. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. All right, still see it.
You got it. That is Xander Kraus. Make sure you guys end up hitting that like button. We appreciate him coming aboard. By the way, bottom of the hour is Battle Royale. Okay? Battle Royale. I was actually in that Corvette. Battle Royale between Philly 500 and Mark Holmes. Battle Royale's coming. And get this, me and Philly went back and forth yesterday on that topic. Let me bring this up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask you guys the question. I just asked Xander it. And I'm going to ask you guys the question. Will Zach Bond be a great linebacker in the NFL? Yes or no? Will he be a great linebacker? He's not right now. He had one great year. That don't make you a great player. Because I'll ask you this. Was Carson Wentz a great player? In 2017, was Carson Wentz a great player? Finished second in the MVP voting, right? Was he a great player? Was Carson Wentz a great football player? Okay, what happened to him? Here's the thing. He was great in 17. I know. So to further notice, I call Mark Combs the plane guy from Fantasy Island. Started out that way. Okay? No, he was just second in the most valuable player voting. And if he's healthy, he wins the award. Helped you win home field advantage. He got hurt, tried to play like he did in 17 and never caught on. Okay? How do you know? And listen, for the record, I'm not trying to start some shit here. I think Zach played as good a football as anybody in the NFL a year ago at his respected position. Okay? I thought he played great. And I thought he was good. And for the record, I think that there's not a lot of miles on this guy where he has played. But he's not Fred Warner, and he's not Roquan Smith yet. Why? Those guys do it consistently every single year. You don't have any resume for that. How in the world can you sit here, Xander too, how can you sit here and tell me that Jaden Daniels is going to take a fucking step back over 1 year when Zach Bond has only had 1 year of playing time as a starter? How can you tell me? How can you say that, well, Daniels will take a step back and Bond won't? I mean, right? How can you say that? Oh, I think that Jaden Daniels is going to take a step back, but not Zach Bond. Bro, your arguments, Cowboys beat the Eagles. Watch for Sills' excuses. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Do you understand something here? Let me help you guys out here. And let me help Texas guy out here. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Watch for Sills' excuses. If you guys beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the opener, so what? So what? So what? What's your point? Most of you are not going to show up until the next game talking about it's early. Bro, they don't have to win that game against the Cowboys. They want to win that game. You have to win that game. That's right, Lamar. So what? If the Eagles drop that opener, who cares? They've got nothing to prove. You've got everything to prove. Says, how long has Bond been playing in the wrong position? That's a great take. Or Prince not given the opportunity to show his talents. 500 coming for you. He heard the Purdy glaze. There was no glaze. There was no glazing. You did it. I never glazed Brock Purdy once yesterday. I never said he was good or bad. You're the ones that said he sucked. I never said one word about him being great. I asked you flat, once again, you're taking it and getting butt hurt, and you're shitting in your diapers again. I never said Brock Purdy was great. You're the ones that said he sucked. You're the ones that said he wasn't good. I made the point is this. Okay, well then according to you, Jameson, a shitty quarterback was part of a Super Bowl run. He helped the team get it to the Super Bowl. My takeaway was you don't need to be an elite quarterback to help your team get to a Super Bowl. That's all my take was. You're the ones that called them shitty. I never made a comment either way how good he is or bad he is. I never said either thing. I never once glazed them, said anything. I asked you the question. Do you think Brock Purdy's good or bad? All of you said below average. I said, okay. So then you can have a below average quarterback help you get to a Super Bowl. And all of a sudden then you started fucking coming at me going, well, you're saying Jalen. I didn't say any of that. I didn't say any of it. No glazing over Purdy. I don't give a shit about the player. I don't think he sucks, but one of the elite guys in the game, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's a good player, but you don't have to be an elite player to be a quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team. You just don't. It wasn't, get this. This shit, as he's one guy say he sucks and runs with it. Hey, will you tell this douchebag? All of you fucking said it. Xander said he was below average. Then he said he was decent. All of you said it. None of you. One guy. Made up lie. That's all this guy does to us. He just fucking lies. To make his little stupid narrative. Coming for me how? Because you guys are the ones that said Brock Purdy blew? And then a bad quarterback took a team to the playoffs? Let him. I don't give a shit. You're the ones that says it. Well, then leave. Oh, yeah, never. Okay, here. You have a super chat that says otherwise. Only one person said that Purdy sucked. That's an absolute fucking lie. Banished right now for me talking to you for a while for your lies. Because defensive coordinators have tape of trying to stop quarterbacks more than OCs focus on one linebacker or D goes through Carter. Opposing OCs focus on him. If OCs focus on stopping Vaughn, even better for Carter. Well, he'll be the one guy coming for you now. Purdy playing at Iowa State and being the last pick, dude battled. I'm the one. I never said he was either thing. I asked, get this. I ask you guys a question, you get butthurt. Holy cow, then you start taking a shit in your diapers. Mark Holmes is back in the green room. I'm going to give Mark Holmes this. So this is the question I asked. By the way, it's been a great 48 hours of content. So, Mark, I want you to listen to this. And I want to show you how some Eagle fans, they get butthurt over this stuff. You ready? So, I asked this question. I go, what do you guys think of Brock Purdy? Everybody in this chat went like this. He's below average. He's not good. He sucks. I said, okay. And then I turned around and said, so you don't have to be an elite quarterback and a good quarterback to help the team get to a Super Bowl. No, wait. It's a shot at Hurts. I was talking more about the list. Wait a minute. You're taking a shot at Hurts. You just said Brock's not a good player. And if is Jimmy Garoppolo elite? Well, he sucks too. Okay? So 2 examples of a quarterback not being elite helped the team get to a Super Bowl. Two quarterbacks. Well, wait a minute. Are you saying that Hurts is not? I'm not saying anything about the guy. All I'm saying is, do you really have to be elite to help a quarterback get to a Super Bowl? No. Wait a minute. You're comparing Hurts to Brock Purdy. I'm not comparing him to Brock Purdy. I'm just saying you don't have to be a great quarterback or a top 5 quarterback to take a team to a Super Bowl. And if you are a top 5 quarterback, most notably, you're on a bad team. And this goes to Dak now. Okay? This goes to Dak. This is a conversation that helps Dak. Tom Brady always did what he had to do to win a game. He didn't always throw for 400 yards a game. Purdy and Hurts can be average and win. It's not an insult. He's not elite. That's my take. I don't think it's an insult when you're talking about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL or top 10 quarterbacks. Who cares where you're ranked? Okay, get this. So here, watch this, Mark. I'm waiting for Philly here. Watch what this becomes. Purdy is a top-tier choker. So a choker helped the football team get to a Super Bowl. Okay. So a choker helped the team get to a Super Bowl. Okay. All right. Jimmy Garoppolo, a choker, helped the team get to a Super Bowl. So you don't have to be elite then. Is that correct? Still's honestly asking, Dak or Purdy? This will tell. Purdy's on a better team. Purdy's on a better football team. Got better tools. He's got more complete. There's no Trent Williams on the Dallas Cowboys. It's unfair to Dak. Now, Dak in big games is shit the bed. There's no doubt that Green Bay game. Well, I will hold that against Mark Holmes, that Green Bay game. Okay, I will. Now, again, I saw Jalen Hurts throw for 65 yards against the Rams this year. He didn't have to play well. Okay? It's not a spin. How is this a spin, dickhead? Hey, douchebag, how's it a spin when you go, what do you make of Brock Purdy? Is he good or not? Well, he sucks. Okay, so a quarterback that sucks got the team to a Super Bowl. I'm just using you guys' words against you. I'm not even telling you how good he is. I think Purdy and Dak, I don't have a problem with a quarterback throwing for 4,200 yards and 33 touchdowns. And you're comparing that to Dak? Okay. Purdy is himself a very good game manager. Okay. So a game manager helped the football team get to a Super Bowl. That's what you're saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just not. You hear this, Mark? A game manager helped the team get to a Super Bowl, which means you're not elite in your eyes. So you don't have to be an elite quarterback to help a team get to a Super Bowl. And some of you guys are taking it that I'm taking a shot at Hurts with that. Hey, you would. Okay? You would. Jalen's an elite game manager. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Now, Purdy is a good quarterback. That's just being honest. I think he's good. I don't think he sucks like you guys do. Purdy's in the top 16. So watch this. So a top 16 quarterback helped the team get to the Super Bowl. Every time you guys open your mouth, you sound stupid. Bring Mark on to defend Dak versus Purdy. Seals, do you think Micah Parsons is a top 10 player in the last 50 years? Absolutely not. Hey, son, learn to play the run. Then come talk to me. I think Micah Parsons, I'm going to get mine. If I'm the Cowboys, you know what I do before I bring these two dudes up? And I'll tell Mark this to his face. I turn him into the new version of Herschel Walker. And I trade Micah Parsons to get a bounty of picks like Herschel Walker and rebuild my football team with Micah Parsons to get me a couple 1s, 2s, and 3s for me to be able to rebuild my football team. What's the point of having Micah Parsons on the team when your defense is 28th? I mean, what's the point? The Cowboys, if they don't make the playoffs this year, will pay $60 million for Dak, $36 for CD, and $40 for a defender. And if they don't make the playoffs, where are you going? All right. I'm gonna play the game on these guys here. I'm gonna ask both these guys. Without further ado, this is gonna be a good battle royale, by the way. It's one of my favorite segments. By the way, these guys killed Goldberg. Bill Goldberg, these guys killed. Without further ado, the #1 content creator for Dallas Cowboys propaganda. And the man, the myth, and the legend who will make a video. And I'm shocked he wasn't invited to Dak Prescott's wedding. Without further ado, my friend, who we love, Mark Holmes, and bringing in for the Philadelphia Eagles, the champ, Philly 500. Here we are.
Why am
What's
I here?
happening? What's
Why
going
am I here?
on?
Why do I do this to myself on a weekly basis? I go into the belly of the beast.
Hey, we're coming around the corner too, man. September 4th is rolling.
Yeah, 50 days away.
Okay, so before I do it, Billy got a little bit, like all Eagle fans do. They get in their diapers a little bit when I asked this question yesterday. And I'm going to fucking do this to you first, Mark, and then I'm going to ask him the same question, okay? What's your opinion of Brock Purdy?
Bus driver.
A bus driver.
He's a good quarterback on a team that was loaded. Now, if 49er fans are going to get the panties in a bunch and stuff, but last year, if you were elite quarterback, and if as they always say, you end up elevating the team. Well, he lost Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, and what happened to him?
Okay.
What happened to him? 20 TDs, 12 interceptions on the season.
Okay. All right. So what do you make of Jimmy Garoppolo? Was he above average? Good? What do you make of him?
Again, game manager who had a great team around him.
Okay. So
kind of like Trent Dilfer.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you're saying an average quarterback, a game manager, and a bus driver can help a team get to a Super Bowl, correct?
If you have a good team, yes.
Okay. Because those are the facts. That's what happened, correct?
Yes. It's a team sport.
Okay. So you don't have to have an elite quarterback to get to a Super Bowl.
If you have a great team around them, no. You're a cog in the machine.
Well, those are facts because you're not the only one. That's what happened. The 49er teams got to a Super Bowl.
Do we look at the Baltimore Ravens with the defense? Do you look at the Baltimore Ravens with that defense and say that it was the quarterback that won the Super Bowls? Do you look at the 85 Bears and say it was Jim McMahon that won those Super Bowls?
Look, by the way, I think Purdy's actually pretty decent. I don't think he stinks.
I didn't say he stank.
I think he's okay. Now, Billy, I'm going to ask you a question. What's your take on Brock Purdy? What kind of quarterback do you think he is?
I think he's above average. I think he's got stuff to prove, but I think he's above average.
So above average football player and above average quarterback helped his football team get to the fifth quarter of the Super Bowl. Okay.
Of course.
You don't have to have an elite quarterback to get to a Super Bowl.
No, to get to a Super Bowl, not necessarily. However,
not necessarily.
What's Dak's excuse then? What's Dak's excuse? He's had good football.
He ain't had a San Francisco or Eagles team. No, bro. No. You cannot compare any team that the Cowboys had during the 20s here that had an offensive line as good as San Francisco. No, bro. No. You can't look and say, Debo. No. You're on crack. No. With George Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo back when Debo was good, and Christian McCaffrey, you did not have that, bro. Did not have that. You're full of no. I'm not giving you that, Philly. You're full of shit. You are full of shit. And the Cowboys don't have anything near what the Eagles have had with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. When you had what San Francisco had, and you choked. He choked. And you give him the pass.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Hold it. Here's the real question, Philly. How many players in the last 5 years would you say you would take over anybody on the Eagles on the Cowboys roster?
I would never take anybody. I don't care if they're a Hall of Famer on the Cowboys. They ain't coming to the Eagles. We don't want your trash ass shit. That doesn't mean they want good players. Dak had it. So this is about Dak. This is about Dak, not Jalen. You can't put Dak Prescott in the same
CeeDee
area.
Lamb, Noah Brown, and
is not allowed to be compared to Dak.
Come on.
Because Jalen Hurts is so far above him.
No.
You want to talk about that?
Bro.
Troy
you know what?
Jalen.
Here's the reality is you realize that Jalen Hurts isn't as great as you guys pump him up, and you guys always get butthurt anytime somebody says that he's not Joe Montana.
You guys have to move the goalposts.
Come on, man.
When we had Randall Cunningham, he don't win playoff games. When we had Donovan McNabb, he don't win playoff games. Vic, playoff games. Carson Wentz, let's see about the playoffs. Then you get Jalen Hurts and he does it, and then you guys want to say, it doesn't matter that much.
And I will say your teams are much better that you have right now than what you have with those guys.
Wait here, Mark. Let me ask you this question, Philly. Would you rather have Patrick Mahomes or the roster you have in Philly?
Do I rather have Patrick Mahomes 3 Super Bowls?
You get Patrick Mahomes and you have to have.
I get his 3 Super Bowls.
Oh, no. Right now. Right now, let me ask you. If you would right now, would you trade
trading a whole team for one player?
No. I'm hypothetical with you here. Would you rather have the Philadelphia Eagle roster right now, or would you rather have would you rather have Mahomes?
Well, who's blocking for Mahomes?
No. I don't know.
Who's an average team?
Well,
I'm asking you. Would you rather? Okay.
Okay.
Let me put it this way then. Would you
How
rather
about
have the 5 elite or the 4 elite quarterbacks that everybody puts ahead of your guy, or would you rather have your roster right now?
With my quarterback?
No. You would give your quarterback.
I don't see how that's like saying, hey, start up your iPhone and watch Microsoft show up on.
Why don't you want to? Wait. My point to you is, I'd rather have a roster than an elite quarterback.
Sure, a good roster, great.
Because that's we fine. Just said it. You don't have to have an elite quarterback to win it.
So, and my question back to it is, what's Dak's excuse then?
He has never had a roster that is stacked like what you guys have, offense and defensively. Come on, bro. We've only had no. In the whole time Dak Prescott has been here, he's had only 2 tight ends to get over 800 yards 2 seasons.
2019 okay? Dallas, number 1 ranked offense. What happened in 2019?
Overachieving.
This is a team.
And what was their defense? And what was their defense, buddy?
How can you be a bad team
with
3 straight years of 12 wins, and then you choke in the playoffs? Your quarterback's a choker. He's a choker.
Let me ask one thing, Mark. Why do you defend? Bro, why do you defend? Why do you defend Dak Prescott so much?
Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, let me explain it, because everybody goes through and they'll say, well, Dak Prescott was sucking last year to start the season, so him getting hurt didn't make a difference. Okay, I can agree that Dak was not great, but you had the worst separation of your wide receivers. Your number 1 wide receiver wasn't even in camp because your owner was jacking off and not getting the contract done. Your number 2 wide receiver had a knee infection. You had 2 rookies starting offensive line, and Tyler Guyton let everybody go to the inside, or he got a holding penalty. Your running game, you literally averaged 70 yards or less a game the first games of the season. And you had a defense that could not force a punt in 2 games. And the only thing anybody talks about is the quarterback.
So wait, according to Philly here, and wait, for you, your problem is you think the Cowboys as an organization have failed Dak.
Yes.
And have wasted 9 years.
They wasted Tony Romo, and they're doing the same thing with Dak.
That's not what you said about Romo before.
Bullshit. I defended
you
Romo.
Dak more than Romo because you thought Romo was a choker.
No. I was ready to move on from Tony Romo because 3 things would happen every time he went back in the pocket. He'd do a great play, it would be a Tony Ono, or he'd get hurt for the season.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Philly. Let's go down the rock. Let's do this here. I got a question for you. Hey, what's your big? Here, let me expand it though. What's your biggest problem with Dak?
Me personally?
Yeah.
My problem isn't actually with Dak as much as is the Dallas Cowboy fans that do not hold him to the same standards that we're expected to hold every other quarterback to. That's my issue. It's always not Dak's fault. They're a 1 seed. They lose. He stinks. It's not his fault. 2 seed. Not his fault. I mean, here's a team that has won 12 games 3 straight years in a row. Every time they go to the playoffs, they lose to a team that's worse at home. Why do they not hold them? Why do they not hold them accountable? And then when Jalen Hurts plays his first playoff game versus Tampa, what do I hear from Cowboy fans? Oh, you can't win in the playoffs. What about your guy? I hear about all these other quarterbacks from Cowboys fans, but they don't hold their guys to the standard. I got issue with that.
Mark, I'll tell you one thing that he just brought up in a great topic. I used to think Dak Prescott was the most criticized quarterback in the NFL. I'm starting to think it's Hurts now. This guy just won the MVP award, and you got people all over the place that are calling him going for the ride with that football team. I mean, this guy just won a Super Bowl, And people are saying that this guy was carried to the finish line. And there's, by the way, that is a strong comment out there by a lot of people. This list just came out. They had him 9. Do you agree that right now maybe the one guy
he's moving up? He's moving up the list of being most disrespectful.
Hurts is awful criticized right now.
I still don't think it's quite there with Dak Prescott. We literally have polls out here that say
just won the Super Bowl.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But here we have, everybody says our running game is probably the worst in football. Our coach is the second worst coach in the NFL in ranking. Our offensive line is question mark, but Dak's got to prove something. And you're basically saying he's got nobody to work.
But that's this year. That's not the previous 9 years.
Okay. I'm on the Phillies channel here, so I know I'm not going to get any.
Billy, I'm going to ask you this here. This is what some of the comments that Colin Coward, about Jalen Hurts. So a year ago, the Philadelphia Eagles were ranked in the top 5 in rushing. They were ranked in the top 5 in pass protection. They were ranked in the top 5 in wide receiver tandem. They were ranked in the top 5 in offensive output scoring. And yet the football team in passing was ranked 25th. Another comment. Let me throw this at you here. 11 of his 32 rushes came off the tush push. If you take those away, according to Colin, I'm not saying, according to Colin, he'd have as many touchdowns a year ago as Bryce Young. Okay?
Oh.
And his final one was that in week 5 after the bye, it wasn't something that involved. They took the ball and they went to an employee and said, listen, be like somebody coming to me going, we're going to take an hour away from your show. And we're going to do less and we're going to do that. Or they're going to have you do less. Now, these are his takes. That's a national guy. And there's a lot of sentiment out there that believes that. What's your take on those takes?
It's irrelevant because the truth of the matter is if Jalen Hurts doesn't get those tush-push yards or whatever, who's getting them? Saquon Barkley. You're talking about one of the most historic years for a running back ever. There's only so many balls and only so many plays that go around. If you're running the ball and it's working, why would you stop doing it? It just makes no sense. You can't. I don't think you can really hold that against him. You know, if this was his first Super Bowl
they asked
and they
him
won,
to do less, though, did you not?
Yeah,
did you not
right.
agree?
Yeah, but the thing is before that, if you go back to previous years when he went to the Super Bowl, he didn't have Saquon Barkley, and he had arguably an MVP year, and he still came one drive.
2 great receivers.
He came one drive away from winning the Super Bowl, and he didn't have Saquon Barkley. So to me, you know, when you could talk about, oh, this guy, how many guys, can a good quarterback take a team to a Super Bowl? Yeah, but can they go twice in 3 years and win one? How many average quarterbacks have done that? Not many.
I'm not calling him out.
I know. I'm not.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the ultimate compliment here, Billy, because your team is the closest team that I have seen since the 90s Dallas Cowboys that is loaded roster to roster. And on that team,
Troy
Aikman was a great quarterback.
When you say that, you rub Eagle fans the wrong way when you say that.
Doesn't rub me the wrong way.
How can it rub them the wrong way? To me, that was one of the greatest teams that I've ever seen, and I say that they are the closest thing to that. But with that team, Troy Aikman, who is a Hall of Famer, he only had one season that he threw over 20 touchdown passes. Why? Because he had an incredible offensive line. He had great wide receivers, a great tight end who was a security blanket, and he had the all-time leading rusher. He wasn't asked to have to carry everything on his back the way that, say, the Dan Marino had to. Great.
And
if Jalen Hurts,
I don't care.
If Jalen Hurts was put in Cincinnati, do you think he's winning Super Bowls right now?
No.
Do I think he's winning Super Bowls right now? I don't think any people are winning Super Bowls in Cincinnati.
I don't think anybody. I don't think
then you just answer the question. It's the team and not the player.
You can't dismiss what he does when he does. When you have a 4th and a 6th and a championship.
I'm talking to a brick wall here. I'm sorry. There's no changing you. There's no argument here.
No, because what you're doing is you're trying to use that as a bait-in excuse for Dak Prescott on the
Okay.
back.
Do you think
I know
Jalen
how
Hurts is
you
going to win a
think.
Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys?
2 years ago, in 2019, yes.
2019, we were not that
2018,
great,
yes.
bro.
2019, you had the number one offense. You went 12 straight years of 12. You went 3 straight years of 12-plus wins. You can't tell me that team should not be in at least one NFC Championship game. I guarantee you, Jalen Hurts would definitely have taken
Here's how
the
stupid
playoffs
you
to a
are, Billy.
championship game.
2019, we were 8-8, and Jason Garrett got fired.
And you had the number one offense. What happened to your boy?
Bro.
What about
We were
2020?
8-8.
What about 2021? What about
2020
2022?
was Mike
What about all
McCarthy's
those
first year, and we were
You
6-9.
went 12
I'm sorry,
wins,
6-10.
3 straight.
And
How many teams in the league, Sills,
Oh,
go
my
and win 12 games, 3 straight years, and can't get out of the first round of the
Listen.
playoffs?
You
You tell
don't
me.
even know what.
Listen, wait a minute.
You tell me.
You're
Wait,
an
wait,
idiot,
wait.
Philly. You're an
Mark.
idiot.
Mark, let me
Yeah,
go.
I'm
here.
an idiot. I got a ring.
Mark, let me go down this. Let me go down this.
We
lane.
got 5.
How about this, Mark? Let me go down this lane.
Yeah, you don't have 5. That don't count.
Hey,
That don't
Mark.
count.
Mark,
That
I
counts as
witnessed
much as
every
our
one of
NFC
them.
championships.
how about this,
Don't
Mark?
count.
Let me go down this lane here. Would you make of my take that you should use
5
Amon
wins my
Mike
ass.
Parsons, and you should use him as a Herschel Walker type trade for you to be able to fill more? Because Mark, you just said it to me that the holes in the roster right now, there's holes everywhere. The Eagles have so many more players.
I hear what you're saying. You're
But why
right.
not get one player to fill some of those holes that you need to get the roster? So if you trade him, your objective is not to be like Jalen Hurts. Your objective is to be more like the Eagle roster.
I can agree with that, but here's the problem, okay? The problem is you have teams like the Eagles where after your third year for your center, what did you do? You paid him when you had years where you're paying him cheaply. What the Jets just did the last couple of days, paying Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson after the third years, they're locking in today's money, but they're not paying it till tomorrow. And when you start thinking about the Cowboys, that if they could have gotten Micah Parsons done, say, I don't know, right at the beginning of the offseason where it's $35 million and probably saved $7 million a year, how many players is that? That's a good free agent. The problem with the Cowboys isn't let's trade him away and get a whole bunch of picks, because you could end up with Mozzie and Tyler Guyton with those picks. A bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. What the Cowboys need is people in the front office who understand how to do contracts and understand how to get these things done sooner than later. We shouldn't be working on Micah Parsons. We should be looking at Tyler Smith right now and Deron Bland. We are so far behind. That's the biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys.
What do you think?
I'm having a vision of the future. It's the first round of the playoffs. Dak Prescott back to pass, down 4, 2 minutes left. Picked off, pick 6. The Niners score. Dallas loses again. It ain't Dak's fault. It ain't Dak's fault.
Oh my God.
Come on, I see it. I see it happening.
You better not lose week 1.
Hell,
You better not lose
You
week
better
1.
be around
okay?
in January.
Because, look,
You better be around in January.
I'm going to tell you right now,
I'm
if
telling
you
better
lose
be
week
around
1,
in January.
I am coming out to California, and I
That's
will be
right.
at your
That's
front
right.
door.
Yeah, you know why? Because that's your Super Bowl. You know, why don't you be around in January and play us then
Mark.
when it matters?
Mark, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man. I have to agree with one thing with you here. Boy, Eagle fans right now are very sensitive about their quarterback.
There's a guy they want to get rid of 2 years ago.
We're just holding you guys to the standards that we have been told apply to our quarterbacks for the last 30 years. That's all we're doing. You guys are moving the goalposts.
No, hey, listen, I have no problem with what they're doing. They've built a great roster. There's no doubt about it. The difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys roster is what? I think you pay the wrong people. They pay the right people. They pay the O-line. You don't pay that.
Yeah, and we wait forever.
and you wait until look at this. Here's a mistake that the Eagles, maybe they're not making. Philly, I'll ask you one more time. Do you believe that? So next week, we're 6 days out. You think Reed Blankenship is getting that contract extension?
Next week? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that it's going to necessarily happen like really soon. I foresee it something more like maybe towards the end of the year. They see how a season's going. It's pretty solid, something like that.
Mark, I got to throw this at you here. Do you see what PFF came out with today? Number one.
I'm sure whatever it is, the
wide
Cowboys
receiver
are
rankings. The wide receiver rankings.
Okay. I've not seen
Jamar
it.
Chase is number 1. Justin Jefferson is number 2.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb is 4. A.J. Brown is 5.
What a joke.
Ahmad St. Brown is 6. Malik Neighbors is 7. Nico Collins is 8. Mike Evans is 9. And Garrett Wilson from the Jets is number 10. What do you make of AJ? What do you make of CD being ranked ahead of AJ Brown? Do you agree with that ranking?
Yeah, definitely. Because here's the difference.
Dak's
okay,
Dak's got
basically,
the fourth best wide
no.
receiver
Hold on.
Nope.
When CeeDee Lamb got all of the Dallas Cowboys single season records, the next guy was over 1,000 yards behind him. He got the lion's share of all of the coverage. Everybody knew we have to cover CeeDee Lamb, and he got 1,700 plus yards. Even without his starting quarterback on an ass team, he almost got 1,200 yards. I believe it was more than A.J. Brown has had in any season he's had there. Believe CeeDee Lamb to start a career in his first 5 years is second in receptions all time.
Great. So that means you have no excuses this January. Right?
No, bro.
No more excuses. No excuses. You got CeeDee Lamb. Nobody can cover CeeDee Lamb.
I will say our passing attack will be a hell of a lot better, but I don't know that our offensive line is going to be, and I don't think my running game is going to be any better.
Hey, listen, when you don't have anybody else to throw to, like you said, of course they got to target CeeDee Lamb more. It's natural. He's sitting in the slot. Let him go play outside with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown puts up numbers, and the Eagles got all the other talent.
You are so sensitive when it comes to your players, man.
I'm not the one. I'm just telling you
you're
facts.
Like
you're the one getting all angry. Look at you.
About my Eagles players. Hey. I'm going to go ahead and get indignant because every one of them is the best player of all time.
Mark, who will have a better offense this year? The Cowboys or the Eagles?
You got a loaded roster. You got a better offensive line, and that's where everything starts out right there.
A year ago. I mean, they're probably not going to take.
I tell you what, it will all depend on Saquon if he ends up taking the nosedive after, like most running backs do after a 2,000-yard season. If Saquon can still rush for 1,500 yards, you'll have the best offense. You'll have a better offense.
Philly. Question. Do you believe that Zach Bond will be a great linebacker?
Yeah, do you hear me? Am I coming in clear or blurry?
No, it's a little bit. I don't know what StreamYard's doing, dude. Even my mic's a little hollow too. So.
It keeps switching. It keeps switching off my mic.
The boy, you know what? It's doing
your shit.
It's doing.
It's going to my AirPods. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps switching off. So I apologize. But do I think Zach Bond's a good linebacker?
No. Do I think he'll be a great linebacker?
Yeah, I think so. I think the change of position really was what did it for him. We know he's very athletic. Now, if you want to say, does he got to prove it more than 1 year? Yes, he definitely does. But no, I think the reason why he was good was because they put him in the right position. So I'm assuming that's going to continue.
That's a great. You listen to the word and the comment. That's really great because to me, people assume that he's already a great linebacker. No, he's not. Consistency makes you great. He had a great.
You have to do things more than 1 year.
That's right.
You have to. Everything.
Absolutely. Hey,
that's why Dak comes. What's his excuse again? I forget.
Hey, okay, Mark. That linebacker of yours is starting to get a lot of play. Do you think he'll be one of the top 5 linebackers by the end of the year? What's his name? Overshawn?
Well, okay. He's crippled at the moment. He tore his ACL, his PCL, and his MCL. Now, there's height. Now, he was great. He played really, really well. Now, the question will be now they're projecting him to be back mid-season, maybe November. I think he's maybe back in October, but I think they're going to take their time getting him on the field. I think he can be great, but again, you literally destroyed your knee. How good are you going to be coming out the box?
I mean, they've ranked him awful high. Philly, what do you think will be your toughest opponent this year on your schedule?
Toughest opponent? I think the toughest single game is probably that Chiefs game. I would think that's probably the toughest. Yeah, I mean, because, they're going to be up. They're going to want revenge. I get all that. So I think that's probably, in terms of, like, what team do we play, I think that's the toughest. I mean, there are teams, to me, like the Rams, that they got to prove themselves. Like, they're a good team, but you got to be able to stop the run. They haven't shown me that they could do that. And then, of course, division games are never easy, So, but I think that Chiefs game's the toughest spot.
Let me ask you this here, Mark. Do you think you split with the Eagles this year?
Yes.
Philly, do you believe that you sweep the NFC East this year?
No, we'll split with Washington. That
team is so overrated, it's not even funny.
No, it's not a matter
they got no
of how
defense.
good they are. It doesn't matter.
No defense. Debo looks like he's in his 3rd trimester. Terry McLaurin is a holdout.
Right.
Michael Gallup is still on one leg, and Noah Brown's got a kidney problem.
Right, but we're gonna talk about everybody else, but make excuses for Dak. Let's do that because that's what you do. Here's the reason why I say it.
I think I just said the same thing about Washington that I said about the Cowboys.
The last game versus Washington is the final game of the season. I think we'll have clinched everything and we'll sit our starters, so they'll probably win that game.
So you think you'll have home field advantage locked up?
Yeah, I think we're going to be the number 1 seed.
A year ago, you
we were the 2.
Yeah, you didn't have the best regular season. It was the Lions, correct?
Right. We were number 2 seed, yeah.
That's right. Okay, hey, Mark, what are you expecting in that opener against Philly?
I think I don't know what to expect in that game. And I think that is going
Wait a minute here. Philly gave you a prediction. What's your prediction for that game?
34-17, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, that's his. What's yours?
It's too soon. I got to see what's going to happen in training camp. I got to see.
He knows. He knows. He knows.
You know what? It could go either way, man, because here's the thing. Predictions is an X factor. We don't know what they're going to do with them. If the Cowboys can come out and open up the field early against that secondary of yours, which is changed and turned over, all of a sudden things can be really different. The Eagles, your team always starts the season off slow. And having that Super Bowl and the Super Bowl hangover, anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Here, I'll help you, Mark. Let me help you with your video for the day after the game.
Oh, my God.
Hey, friends, Mark Holmes with your buddy, Cowboy Joe Boo. Listen, the Eagles, they're Super Bowl champions. They're good. They got a way better roster than us. And even though Dak threw 2 interceptions, he did have 2 touchdowns late in the 4th quarter. And so we've got a lot to build on. But we can't blame Dak. I mean, Dak gave us everything. He gave us 2 touchdowns late. So we'll see the Eagles again later on in the year. There you go, buddy. It's done. You don't have to do any videos.
I did, Mark.
Mark. I'd say you couldn't pay me enough to do this.
Wait,
but you don't pay me. I don't know why I do this.
Favorite people on my program, and I have everybody on this bitch.
Oh, we're having fun. We love you, Mark.
Come on,
at my expense. Oh, Mark, yeah. I'm getting tag team.
You would think that's his son, right? You would think that's his son.
Wait,
I mean, look how sensitive he is.
Help me out here. Then I'm going to ask Philly this question. Who do you think are the most sensitive fans? Cowboys or Eagle fans?
Be honest. Be honest.
Are you asking me first or him first?
Yeah, you.
I got to say Eagle fans because it's like You better not say anything about any one of their players except they're the greatest of all time, or they will get butthurt.
Billy, who is the most sensitive?
You don't see me getting all upset because you're talking about Jalen Hurts. I just respond. He gets all upset if you talk about that. Look how upset he gets. Why do I even do this? Why do I even come on here? They're the most sensitive fans. They think everybody should kneel to Dallas
Lordy.
for no reason.
Wait. I've got one last question for you, Mark. Both guys are Jordan brand guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Dak and Jalen.
The Jordan brand, they better cut that contract out.
Who's the face of the Jordan brand in the NFL? Now, hear me out. The Cowboys are the most visible team in the world. Okay, which means more eyeballs watch Cowboy games than any other team in American sports. They're the richest franchise in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen just won a Super Bowl, okay, which is one of the biggest events. Okay, who do you think is the who do you think is the face of the NFC? Dak or Jalen Hurts?
Dak. I'm sorry, it just is. It's a popularity contest. Who is talked about more in football than anybody else? Dak Prescott.
I talked a lot.
And see, here's the thing. The only thing you care about is that people talk about you. That's the bottom line.
Time for honoring yourselves, Cowboy fans, will soon be at an end because your fans are dying off. You're getting old, and your young guys have never seen winning.
Mark,
our guys have.
You're getting upset, Mark. I could see it already. You're getting upset. That was a fucking dope line right there. I mean,
shout out Gladiator. I just watched it.
Wait, Billy, why are you in such a good mood? You feel like you're repeating?
My wife's looking good today. What can I say? I don't know. I'm in a good
Mark,
mood.
why are you looking so down? This is like a 30-year, I don't know. You look like a 30-year painful moment for you. This is just painful. Listen, my aunt's in this room and she's feeling upset.
And then you're more sensitive, right? Cowboy fans or Eagle fans. I mean, I think we've seen it. Mark needs his team to win so desperately. It's God, not Mark, even funny.
Mark, you need that.
I love you, Mark. I do, but I really hate your team, and I hate your take on Dak. I do.
Hey, I'll tell you this here, Mark. If you win that football game, oh my God, are you going to come off the top rope? Holy cow! If you somehow, because here, one thing I will give you. You know why I give you a puncher's chance in that game in the opener? They got 5 new starters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And the question is for Dallas is, can they run the ball? Can they run
the
ball?
That is a big question. That's why I said, let me see what we got to training camp.
If you come out versus the Eagles and you're not running the ball, I think you're going to have a problem.
Agreed. Because running the football makes everything so much better.
You're doing it wrong, Mark. This is what you need to do a tape on. Watch this. You ready? This. We have no shot of beating them. We're going to get killed. We have no idea. And when you do, if you do, then you come off the fucking top rope.
He can't do it. He can't say that. He can't do it.
He can't do that?
Oh,
he'll do it like for a video or two, and then it'll just start to irritate him, and he'll have to say something. I know too well.
Mark, listen. You're one of my favorite people. You really are. And guess what? I'm pulling for your takes. I want to see what would be great for the NFL is if Dak is good. It'll be great for the NFL if he's good.
That's a good regular season quarterback. That's going to have a good regular season like he always does. And then he's going to choke in January. It's just rinse and repeat.
I'm going to let you out of prison now, Mark. You know,
just like your boy Justin Herbert.
Hey, I'm going to
just like your boy Justin Herbert, Sills. Going to throw 5 interceptions in one playoff game.
Yeah,
Stinks.
again, and you hold a guy to one playoff game in his career.
No.
Thank God we didn't do that to Hurts.
Yeah, right. Like you didn't do it to Hurts.
No, his opener when he got annihilated.
He killed him. When he played his first playoff game versus Tampa, he got all season.
Okay, right. Let me ask you this.
Right?
Do you really believe that the San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers, you really think prior to Jim Harbaugh showing up there, do you think they've really built great rosters?
No.
Okay.
And
how is that the quarterback's problem?
Well, here's the problem with the quarterback is that you didn't even put up a fight versus the what was the Texans? He threw 4-5 interceptions in the game.
I thought it was the Jags.
Was it the Jag? I will forget who the first round was.
Peterson's Jaguars.
It was
But
Jags.
I mean, come on, man.
Trevor Lawrence had 5 turnovers.
I
They
can
were up
respect Josh
27
Allen,
to
right?
nothing in the first quarter.
Hey,
I can respect Josh Allen. Josh Allen goes into Kansas City. Yeah, he has a problem winning there, but remember that playoff game? He came off the field with a team in the lead. That's what I want to see.
I'll tell you this, like I said. So you agree, Philly, you and me had a conversation. You agree an average quarterback could be part of a Super Bowl running football team. A Super Bowl team.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's a bad look for Dak. I think that's a bad look for Dak because he's had good teams and still haven't gone.
You see, he took my line and applied it to Dak.
You can't apply it to Jalen because he's won.
No, I'm applying it to the other quarterbacks you killed that haven't gotten there.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, when Jaden Daniels is a number 5th ranked quarterback and he's played one season,
I have a problem.
I don't see how he could be. I'm not saying those guys shouldn't be on the list, but you can't justify over Hurts.
No, guys. When do the Cowboys report, Mark?
Sunday they show up on Sunday. Monday is the opening press conference. Tuesday is the first practice.
When do the Eagles show up?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. They show up. Mark, then we're counting it down to September 4th.
Say it again.
Counting it down to September 4th.
It's 50
By the way,
days.
ready for this? I'm going to be there. Here's why.
At the game?
Morgan and Morgan. I'm going to be there with in their box watching the game on Thursday night. So I'll be there watching this thing from Lincoln.
You're leaving your cave?
You
know what? I'll believe it when I see it because I've heard you say you're going to a lot of shit. You never show up anywhere.
No, I have to do this because these are my boys, Morgan and Morgan. So I got to. It's like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. Hey, look at no. All right, listen, guys. I love both of you.
Thank you.
Man. Boy, thank you. Hey, Philly. Thank you, man. I mean, Mark, you too. Thank you very much, man. Bro.
Anytime.
Hey, listen to me, Mark. You beat Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg had 13, 14 million people watching him. You two guys beat Bill Goldberg.
Okay. So people like the pathetic Cowboy fan getting beat up. Okay, big surprise.
Oh, my God, Mark. Mark, I owe you big time. Thank you.
Mark. Okay? I give you a mental hug.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a mental hug too. Is that all right? Can I give you one?
No.
I'll give you a maple syrup.
Fake ass is hugging me.
Hey, I'd be about 1,700 pounds hugging you, but we're good, me and him. I love this is my Italian paisan right here. So
that's right.
All right. 50
we're
days.
Guys.
50 days, and we're coming for the meats.
Yeah. You better start cooking.
Make sure you check out Philly 500 on his fabulous channel and Mark on his amazing channel that covers the Cowboys. And you can see a shitty face right after this show. I'm pretty sure of it. Hey, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. You bet. Mark, thank you very much. Funny shit, man. You see Mark just sitting there, too, leaning back going, oh, my God. That's kind of how I feel a little bit sometimes. And by the way, he's right in many ways with one thing. You can't talk to Eagle fans right now. You just can't. You asked the question this. Hey, do you think Zach Bond will be a great linebacker? He fucking already is. No, he's not. No, he's not. 1 year doesn't make a great player. Yes, it does. Hey, I'll tell you what. The king of the sensitivity, boy. I get this. The number one thing that I do, like Mark Holmes and like Philly 500, you know what I do? I create topics. And so I brought up that conversation about you, and I'm glad to see both guys said it. You can have an average quarterback take your football team to a playoff. You don't have to have one of the elite quarterbacks get to it. Does that not prove that? The fact that the Cowboys have not built a team around Dak, or they haven't built the football team around Josh Allen, is in the example of Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo. They just haven't. Those teams were great. Quarterbacking doesn't have to be. Not that I think, I've never said it. But my opinion, Brock Purdy, I think it's a really good quarterback. I like Brock Purdy. Okay? Can you win it with an average quarterback? Yeah. Nick Foles is an average quarterback. Is he not? Bad roster building. Absolutely. Can you win it with an average quarterback? Yeah, Nick Foles is an average quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. Nobody would ever put him in the conversation of being a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, not great. Get this. Who had a great 1 year game in his career? Who is better, Hurts or Foles? Now, Jalen has played good in two, so that's not a fair comp. That's not a fair comp. I think Eli Manning is I don't think he's an average quarterback. I think he's a little above average quarterback. By the way, Xander, we did get some supers during the Battle Royale. Elite moments don't make you an elite player. Completely agree. Greetings to each of you. My question is to Dan and Philly 500. Do you think that Dak gets enough compliments regarding that Jones's roster building? Complaints regarding in the roster building. Jerry didn't have to agree to Dak's contract. I think that's a great take. Jerry Jones is an absolutely awful roster builder. He is. He has not built a very good roster. Okay? There's no doubt. He's been the worst general manager in the last 30 years in building a roster around Dak Prescott. Dude, if Dak needs more help, do you know what Howie would do? This is a great question. Okay? That doesn't make him a great quarterback, though, dude. He threw for 8 touchdowns versus the Raiders. Do you think that makes him a great quarterback? I don't. Let me ask you something here. How would Howie Roseman build a team around Dak? He built it the same way they built it around Jalen. That's what they would do. Right? That's what they would do. Jerry is an elite GM. We love him. I bet you do. He got pulled in the fourth quarter. He had great moments as an Eagle. He did. Moments don't make you a great player. Champion Josh Allen threw 5 last year against a weak opponent. Dude, I'm not debating that any longer. I'm just not. There's no need to. Facts are what it is. You don't like it? That's a you thing. Yeah, no, that's a great accomplishment. Absolutely. There's no helping Dak because the Cowboys don't help him. Wait a minute. Get this. You just admitted you don't have to be a great quarterback to help a team get to a Super Bowl. Well, if that's the case, Dak needs more help. You just fucking said it. You just said it. You just said it. If Dak stinks, Dak's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Dak and Purdy might be compatible. Help build a team around him. If your quarterback is not good enough, you need to have one of the greatest rosters of all time. By the way, Jalen plays well in big games. He does. It's not a rip. It's not a debate. No one's debating this. Yes, they do. Help them. You can't have multiple 12-win seasons with no help. Bro, here, that's like saying you held the first 10 years of Michael Jordan's career against him because Michael Jordan couldn't beat the Celtics or the Pistons. He didn't have a good enough roster. Even Michael Jordan needed help. Do you agree? Jesus criminy. It took Jordan 10 years to win an NBA title. A decade before he won. Is that fair? Jordan didn't have a great roster. I don't know what this means. He was an average quarterback. You even fucking traded him. If he's that good, why does he need great rosters? This makes no sense. Hold on. I just fucking told you, you don't have to have a great top flight quarterback to win or get to a Super Bowl. You have to have a great roster. That makes sense. There's precedent for this. You don't want to hear it. Mahomes needs help too from coaches and defense. Okay? Yes. All right. Yes. Can't have the kind of roster when you believe in the quarterback more than the quarterback believes in himself. So you pay him an unnecessary money. That's because you're lazy, not saying you. Show enough. Here's what organizations do. That's flawed. They'll look at a guy like Trevor Lawrence and pay him $55 million. You know why? Because they can't do the job that's needed to build a team and they don't want to spend the money to build a team. So they put all their eggs in one basket with the quarterback, hoping that the quarterback will take them out of the abyss. And 99.9% of the time, I don't care how good you are, you're not going to carry a team out of the dregs of your history. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a poorly run organization and have been for decades. Trevor Lawrence, and I don't care who the quarterback is, it's not winning there. Same in Cincinnati. I can't believe that Joe Burrow makes the Bengals relevant. I can't believe that they make them relevant. Hurts' stance on Trump, I believe, will jinx the season. Well, he'll have the worst season ever. Saquon will be the leader going forward for the Eagles. Watch. It's quite of a bold statement. Mikey, thank you very much for the super chat. I can't thank you enough, man. That's awesome. I don't know about any of that stuff. That's hocus pocus stuff, but that claims he wants to win a chip, yet he takes $60 million a year, as opposed to Jalen taking and asking his agent to make sure the rest of the team is taken care of. So he's supported. Jalen himself knows He isn't the elite quarterback, but he wants to win. That makes him an elite leader. Okay, that makes him an elite leader, Mikey. What you just posted there, by the way, thank you. What you just posted there is what makes him elite as a leader, because that's what Brady did. Here's what Brady, Mahomes, and Hurts are doing. What do you think they're doing right now? You know what they're doing? Tom Brady knew this. Okay? If I take $10 million of the money that I could ask for and I reinvest it like in the stock market, his team, that's going to help me in the long run get to where I want to get to. Mahomes is doing it. Mahomes is not even in the top 11. Top 12 highest paid quarterbacks in the league annually. He's got a $450 million deal, so this guy's almost guaranteed $500 million. Nobody's over like $300 million. This guy's at $450. So it's a different world. However, those guys are taking that money and having that money reinvested back in their rosters, so they're able to do this. And you know what the Eagles did in return? They gave him a no-trade clause. Okay? If Jalen is so accurate and it's elite, why'd they ask him to throw the ball less? Oh, I know. Because they ran the ball more. Okay. Sign some big linemen, right? So the question about the best quarterback is irrelevant. Yeah, there you go. It's about the best team. So there's no absolute. Boom. African surf, correct. The conversation on who the best quarterback in the NFL is a dumb one. Who cares? It's about the best roster. You can have the best quarterback talent in the league. It won't matter if your team sucks. They're not winning. They'll make a change and they'll make an impact on your football team. But you guys are coming around now. You don't have to be an elite quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. You could be, according to some of you, a suck-ass quarterback and get to the Super Bowl. Okay? They don't build the football team around the passing game in Philly. Even though you pay positions, and all of your positions high-end money. You pay high-end money for a passing game that you don't have. Okay, here, Dank. Dank, do you agree with me on this? Wait a minute here. You don't have high-quality passing, volume of passing, but you pay high-end money, and you're 30th. Do you think you get your return on investment with your investment in the passing game? Yes or no? When it comes to the volume of passing and it comes to what you're getting in return, the answer is no. So as our fans do have selective memory about the beginning of the season. Of course they do. They only, right? And by the way, when you win the Super Bowl, the victor goes the spoils, man. I get it. Last year, not as much. Okay? That's a fair take. Again, here. That's why. Dank, don't you agree with this? Dank, they didn't evolve into being a running attack. They went to it because of necessity. Because the passing game was turning the ball over too much. It didn't evolve. They had to stop the turnovers. So they stopped the volume of passing and gave it to the running back and said, let's see where this leads us. The running game evolved. Okay? But it wasn't something that they just evolved to. They did it out of necessity. This is absolutely true. I remember the players doing it. They found out how to win a Super Bowl rather than a regular season game. Fair enough. That's exactly correct. Why would they throw it? No doubt. Offensive line, that's correct. Guys are getting it. By the way, when I say this comment to you, you don't have to have an elite quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. Why do you automatically go to? So you're not saying Jalen Hurts is elite. I say he's a top 5 guy. No, I am. After the Chargers game, even the players on defense were telling Doug to run the ball more. Okay? Okay? So the NFL is a copycat league, right? Yes, in many ways, but don't think that they're no. Do you ever see the franchise ignoring paying a quarterback 60 to 70 million and 80 million? No. Using their payroll throughout the roster and recycling quarterbacks on rookie deals. Big easy. Why do you think that's not a possibility? This is a great question. He's saying this. Sills, does it ever get to a point where an owner looks at it and goes, you really don't need to have an elite guy carry your football team to a Super Bowl? Should you ignore paying a quarterback $50, $60, $70 million and go through building a roster and get recycled quarterbacks like Garoppolo or Purdy? It's a great question. Here's why that won't happen. NFLPA and agents. What's the number one position in the NFL that raises salaries? It's the quarterback position. That quarterback position, you see, when it gets, in my opinion, Big Easy, when it gets to $80 million, I think the NFL owners are going to try to put a cap on. There's going to be a cap and a floor, like they kind of have in the NHL, where they're going to try to control salaries. Already got caught with their hand in the jar to a bit when it came to not giving guaranteed contracts out. The NFL's got to stop the escalating of salaries, because here's what's happening. Their salary cap goes up 18% every year. The salaries for the players are going up 29% every year. The player position salaries are out tracking the cap increases, which means it's not going to be beneficial with the cap going up, because these salaries are going up faster than the cap is going up. It's defeating the purpose. The NFL owners believed that the cap was going to keep salaries regulated. Okay? They believed it was going to keep regulating it because of the amount of money that was going to go 18%, 14 to 18%, the caps were going up, right? Player salaries, look at this. How many years ago did Jalen Hurts sign that $50 million deal? 2 years ago? He's already outside the top. What is he, 8th? He's already 8th or 9th highest paid guy. By next year, he'll be out of the top 10. And he's making 50. In 3 years, the salary cap will elevate so much, or the prices for the quarterback, receivers. Look at the receivers. Here, who's a big-time receiver? Justin Jefferson's next contract, he'd probably make $45 million. That'll be in 3 years. $45 to $50 million. Owners, you'll be making more money than Hurts. Look at Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's probably going to be around $37, $36 million. $36 million. Okay? That thing has gone up already $7 million. Chris Jones, I think, is at 31. The cap is not moving up enough to regulate the salaries. Zach Bond is a $17 million a year linebacker. I don't know who Zach Bond is. Zach was great last year. Let's see if he can do it again. Like Roquan and Fred Warner. I don't know. Shit, Barkley's a $20 million a year guy. Here, this is really a great take. No, let me fix this up for you a little bit here, African Surf. A lot of marginal players are getting exceptional money. Okay? Laurie sold 8% of the team. He's going to make money back with the voided deals. No, he's not. He's going to make money on the TV deals. That equity, by the way, the equity he's getting back, it's going to be 3 times more than his investment of $195 million he bought the team with. 8% of the team. And the guy has basically a very little say at the board of directors table. Thank you very much, Jason. I very much appreciate it. Seeing the salaries outpace the cap increases all over the place. Hence why you can't keep good teams. Just from Wentz to Hurts, contracts are up $20 million in 4 years. It's not sustainable, and the players will always push for more. Tremendous take. Look at what he just said. From Wentz to Hurts, contracts are up $20 million in the last 4 years. $20 million. It's outpacing the cap. So when you guys are going, oh, don't worry about it because the salary cap is going to continue to escalate. It doesn't matter. The salaries are outpacing it. I believe a player should be required to have 3 years of consistent high-level production in order to be eligible for a big contract. Agents, again, Mikey, it's great concept. You sound like an owner. That's a great concept. Okay? It is. It's an absolutely fabulous concept. But agents in the Players Association, no way. I'm going to tell you guys a story. So when I was in the NFL, every year, and I'm sure it still happens now, every year you get a list of players that are at your respected position. And you know what the mantra is from the Players Association? Don't take less money for the next guy. The less money you take hurts the next guy. Gene Upshaw, who was the union director when I played, used to go around the locker rooms. Don't take less money. You're hurting the next guy. And that next guy may be you. Don't take less dough. They frown on that when you take less money. Players Association does not like players giving hometown discounts. That deal that Devontae Smith cut, the Players Association despises deals like that. He uses the 5th-year option, which is guaranteed to him anyway. They were going to pick that up anyway. Howie rolled it into a contract extension. So for the next 5 years, Devontae Smith is going to be paid below market value, but look at the deal. He's making $25 million a year. He's at $12 million already below market value. He's already $12 million below market value. So I think you're right with Reed Blankenship. I don't think he's getting signed. Where's this contract? Where's this Reed Blankenship contract? These guys are telling me it's going to be done. All right. Well, why not now? And maybe they do it next week before the start of training camp. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Okay? Why wouldn't you wait until free agency next March and do what you did to Zach? Prior to it, you can determine whether or not he's a $12 million a year guy. Don't you think they have a little James Bradbury fear right now in Reed? What do you think Reed's career has been so far as an Eagle? Exceptional, good, average, below average. In his time playing, what do you think he's been? Me, I think he's been good. I don't think he's been great. Great is 12, 13 million. Solid? Okay. Solid? Okay. Good? Are you paying a good player $12 million bucks? Are you paying an overperformer, like John McMullen says, $17 million? Are you? Easy. Are you paying a good player $15 to $17 million? Are you paying a communicator in the secondary and a good communicator and a good player $17 million? I don't know. Why'd you draft a safety? I'll play this position, but still could say about average. Okay? You pay an average guy between $12 to $17 million? Whew. That's a lot of money. There was a safety list that Reed Blankenship was a 32nd best. Oh, I think he's better than that. Teams like the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, Jags with Trevor Lawrence, drafted high but paid on potential. The fact they invested that high a pick. Look at the teams you're talking about, Forrest. The Cardinals and the Jags. Run by Shade Khan and the Bidwells. I mean, put the context to it. Look at ownership. Duggar's great. He's going to get paid 15. Go check the numbers again. Whatever. Thanks a lot, dude. I appreciate it, though. 18 months member. Thank you. No, whatever. So great. Why ain't they paid him? Sills would give him the CJ contract. I think that's 11.2 that he was expected to make this year. That's an all-time bust. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is an all-time bust. I think Jacksonville's an all-time bust franchise. I think 12 to 13 for Reed and 11 up front for a good player. That's quite a number. Reed overachieved for himself personally, being a UDFA, but he can be replaced through the draft. I personally think so too. Yes. Will it be? But it won't be CD's money. It'll be more AJ Brown's money. I think Reed accepts a 3-year, $30 million contract, 10 a year. That would be a steal. I agree, Dan, but since they got rid of so many people, nobody has any expectations for them. Well, that's not the case here, though, a little bit. African Surf, they got a lot of expectations. Many people this offseason have told me that Josh Sweat and Milton Williams will be very replaceable. So will Slay and so will Gardner-Johnson. And so will Nakobe Dean until he gets back in there. You guys think all those guys were replaceable? I happen to think that volume of names and how many people, I think that's a lot to ask. You're going to replace 5 players? Case you need to have guaranteed money in escrow, which means separate accounts, which means you need money up front, liquid assets. I think the Eagles have done a great offseason here when it comes to preparing. Oh, my bad. Okay. I got you, brother. Mahomes thought his passing game was going to beat Jalen. No, the Kansas City Chiefs thought that. Jalen Hurts said, hold my beer. Well, that's not how that worked. You forgot the defensive side of the ball. Hurts had nothing to do with holding Mahomes down. Maybe Reed has a prove-it year and bets on himself this season and tries to get 15 to 17. Mikey, are you going to pay him as much as Derwin James? Mikey, Derwin James makes $17 million. He's one of the premier safeties in the game. The guy, Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore, is going to reset the market. You think he's Kyle Hamilton? No. Mikey, I don't believe anybody would play Reed Blankenship $10 million to come play for them. I do not. I think he's better in Philly. Maybe he will take less money. Not a chance. Going to pay him $10 million. No way. Maybe a bad team. I shouldn't say maybe. I shouldn't say never. Because there's a ton of shitty teams out there. Okay? Dude, I'm not putting Nolan Smith in this group yet. I want to see him play 12. I want to see him play 17 ball games. Jalen Carter, Quinn, Q, maybe. Now, Nolan's trending that way. Justin Simmons is better than anything they have in the safety position right now. And if you want that setup, it makes the NFL king of everything. You're basically making the feds run everything instead of the states. I don't know what that means. I believe he did play 17 games and had 7 sacks in 7 games. He did not start 17 weeks, bro. How is that? Where are you getting that from? He wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year. Where did you get he was starting? He started for who? Sweat? BG? He played in 17. Yeah, I know that. Starting and playing are two different things. There's more reps and more volume of reps. Not awful. Pretty good number. Sweat, counting the playoffs, played over 900 or 1,000 reps. Big question is, how long will Hurts take a pay cut to keep the team together? It depends on what happens in the NFL the next couple of years with those voidable years. It's not that he's not – you're missing the point. You guys think more reps, he's going to be a higher volume. More reps is more wear. That's what they thought. Do you understand, Dank, that this is what the problem was with Bryce Huff? Bryce Huff had 447 snaps in New York and had 10 sacks. When they tried to make him an every down player, his production fell. Because you start more and have more reps doesn't mean you're going to be more productive. Doesn't work that way. Only true starter is Carter and Blankenship. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Jason. Blankenship played on that 23 secondary that was 28th. What was his excuses why he was bad then? Yeah, because you thought he was a 3-down player. Okay? Yes, true. I do understand, but they're two different players. Two different body types. Correct. Nolan Smith is smaller. And your coordinator brings that up all the time. He's an undersized end. That's my concern too. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. Hey, I haven't taken a timeout. I've got to take one here. Guys, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in the entire country, for a reason, is because they win. Make no mistake about it. Morgan & Morgan, their track record is second to none. If you're ever injured, folks, I've known this company for over 25 years, and they do not take prisoners. And by the way, they don't get paid unless you win. Simple as that. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sale sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Hit the like button, guys. Appreciate you guys coming aboard. How about Randy Moss throwing shade at Tyreek Hill? You're not an elite wide receiver in the history of the game. I've been saying this for 5 years about this player. He's not an elite receiver. He's just not. And the Chiefs know that. And that's why they dealt him to Miami. That's not an elite receiver. As a matter of fact, in the game today, amongst the greatest wide receivers of all time, here are the greatest wideouts in the history of the game. Rice, Moss, Owens, Megatron? Evans? No. Marvin Harrison? No. Antonio Brown? God, he was awesome before he had a meltdown. Julio, no. Really, if you think about it, the four greatest players in the history of the game are Rice, Owens, Moss, and Megatron. Are there any guys in the game today like that? No. Get this. Larry Fitzgerald is a good one. It's probably your 5. Get this. Thank goes Tyreek Hill, 6-time Pro Bowler. So, when you see Tyreek Hill, do you see Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron, Owens, Moss, and Rice? Do you see that guy in that 5 game? Do you get this? Does Tyreek Hill knock any of those names out? No. Shit, Chris Carter's a great name. You think Tyreek Hill knocks any of those guys out of that? I don't. Largent was really good. He was. Largent was a really good player. Deshaun Jackson? Yeah, that's about the comp. That's it. Okay? I don't, there's not a guy in today's game that would knock any of the 5 guys out of the top 5. Rice, Moss, Owens, Megatron, Fitzgerald. Reggie Wayne's a good player. But he's not knocking one of those 5 guys out. Okay? I mean, so Randy Moss is right. The elite guys are those 5 dudes. Hey, Tyreek's a fine ball player. Different ball game, but relevant in their era. Again, remember, they didn't throw the ball but 18 to 23 times tops in a game. They were a running team. Swan and Stallworth played on a running attack. He had 119 receptions in 2012, 23, and 1701 and 1799, respectively, in a pass-happy league. That's not impressive to me. And I'll ask you one more time. You think Tyreek Hill's better than Megatron? You think he's better than Owens? You think he's better than Moss? You think he's better than Rice? No. By the way, it's not close. Waste of talent. Just a waste of talent. A great football player. I watched that guy come out of suspension. Get this. I watched that dude right there, Josh Gordon, come out of suspension. And he had like 114 yards and like 14 catches for the Browns against the Chargers. I watched that guy, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like he never missed. And I think he was out 14 months with a suspension for pot. He was so good, man. What a shame. And I was like, we couldn't believe it. I was standing on the sidelines of a Charger game. Yeah, Johnson was good. Wasn't great. Sterling was a really good ball player. I played against him in college when he was at South Carolina. Okay, when he was at South Carolina, he was a really good ball player. Here's the top wide receivers that PFF came out with today. I gave you the list earlier, but Jamar Chase, 1. Jefferson, 2. Tyreek Hill, 3. CeeDee Lamb, 4. A.J. Brown, 5. Why do you think A.J. Brown's 5? Because the passing volume was down for the Eagles. Guarantee you. CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown being ranked 5, you don't think that bugs him? You know it does. Ahmad St. Brown, 6. Malik Neighbors, 7. Nico Collins, 8. Mike Evans, 9. And Garrett Wilson from the Jets, number 10. One thing about that too, Rico, remember this. Dan Marino didn't play with Hall of Fame receivers. He played with the group of very good receivers and still did the things he did in the passing game. He never played with a Hall of Fame receiver. Never at any time in his career did he have a Hall of Fame receiver. Clayton and Duper are not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dan Marino is. Nobody in the offensive line made the Pro Bowl or made the Hall of Fame. Marino played with no Hall of Famers. Not one player made the Hall of Fame in the 18 years. Last I checked, Irvin Fryer's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, Dan Marino didn't play with one Hall of Fame football player in his entire 18 years in Miami. Yeah, that says an awful lot. John Elway had to get a Hall of Fame running back. Gee, it's funny, huh? Elway threw for all those yards, and then he needed a Hall of Fame running back. Oh, there you go. You're right. Dwight Stevenson made it. That's right. Dwight Stevenson. That's right. Dwight Stevenson made the Hall of Fame. Fantastic football player. Ended up getting his legs broken. Richmond Webb belongs in the Hall of Fame. He totally does. I think he made the Pro Bowl. Real zeal. If I'm not mistaken, I think that dude made the Pro Bowl like almost 10 times. He was a really good football player. Had Ricky Williams and Brandon Marshall, not Hall of Fame players. Good players. Dan had a lot of really good football players, but he didn't have Hall of Fame guys that were around him. Okay? Ricky was underrated. Yes. Ricky was. Ricky was very underrated. I think Steve Smith is great. CeeDee Lamb is ranked ahead of A.J. Brown. Is CeeDee Lamb a better ball player than A.J.? Absolutely not. I think Beckham is the most overrated wide receiver in the last 25 years. I mean, outside of the catch on Monday night, what is he known for? Being a great player? I thought he was a really good player. I never thought he was a Hall of Fame type football player. I mean, had one highlight in a game they lost that Monday night. That's exactly right. He had one highlight, one moment, and he's known for that, kind of like clowning in that bowl game that he played in when he was at South Carolina. AJ's a weapon. Yes, he is. AJ's a great football player. No getting around that. Absolutely a great player. Dude, we are just – I think the Lions and the Broncos reported to training camp today. I mean, the Lions and the Broncos reported. Eagles next Tuesday will report. Holy cow. Loved it. Had a fun time with the Battle Royale. Xander was awesome. Guys, I appreciate it. Reyes, I see you, brother, and I thank you for the Instagram post, by the way. Thank you for coming aboard over there on my Instagram. I appreciate you, brother, very much. You know I do, and I see your comments, by the way. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Joe, Xander, thank you. and we will see you on the flip side.